Chapter 113. Ao Tian's intention was very clear. He wanted Longao to hide in the Ghost King sect, so that the Bloodsea sect would not dare to act rashly. But would Longao agree? The answer was obvious. Longao would definitely not agree. Longao's character was like this. The more he fought, the braver he became. He would not be frightened by anything, including the Bloodsea sect. Shaking his head, Longao said firmly, "Thank you, Uncle Ao Tian. But I still hope to solve my own problems. The Bloodsea sect will be my next target." Ao Tian was not surprised at all. He seemed to be very appreciative and said, "Well, it's getting late. We should go. If you have any problems in the future, come to the Ghost sect to find me." Pulling up Aoshue, who was unwilling to leave, Ao Tian suddenly continued, "Longao, remember, if you want to marry Aoshue, your current strength is far from enough." Looking at the two figures gradually disappearing, Longao did not give up at all. Instead, he clenched his hands and told himself, "I will definitely let the whole world know that I, Longao, am the strongest." Since knowing that there were the 5 transformations realms above the innate realm, Longao became more diligent in his cultivation. Because he knew that according to his current strength, he had not reached the peak of the innate realm, let alone the 5 transformations realms. The acquired realm, the 5 innate realms, and the 5 transformations realms. Then, the news that Longao killed Long Ming had spread throughout the whole Tianju. Long Ming was a figure ranked 70th on the 100 battle ranking. Now that Longao had defeated Long Ming, it meant that from now on, Longao would replace Long Ming and become the 70th figure on the 100 battle ranking. Once the news came out, it completely shocked the whole Tianju. Longao, the most popular teenager in Tianju, rose strongly. In just a few months, he set out from the Red Fire town and fought his way to Thunder City. Not only did he win the 2nd place in the Thunder battle, but he also became the 17th figure on the 100 battle ranking. The 100 battle ranking. The Tianwu continent was divided into 9 prefectures. Each prefecture had its own 100 battle roll, and the Tianju was no exception. Every prefecture had a 100 battle roll, and the 9 prefectures had 900 battle rolls. The 100 battle ranking list was a list that only warriors under the age of 40 could pursue. The 100 battle ranking list was the list with the most content among the younger generation in each province. Every young warrior wanted to be on the list to prove themselves to the world. Longao successfully became the 70th person on the 100 battle ranking list, but there was still a steady stream of challenges. After all, in this world, many people wanted to be famous, and challenging the people on the 100 battle ranking list became the fastest way for young warriors to become famous. That was how people were. They often didn't go to a deeper level to express their gratitude. In many people's eyes, even though Longao had risen in just a few short months, he was still too young. In addition, Longao's previous reputation as a trash caused many people to constantly challenge him. Longao did not show any mercy to those who challenged him. This was because Longao understood that if he didn't remove the root of the problem, it would bring him endless trouble. Chihua Town. Now Chihua Town had been separated and did not belong to Star Cloud Kingdom. A small town without the protection of the kingdom would definitely be coveted by others. But at this moment, Chihua Town was unusually safe, because there was a young man who rose up strongly. Not only that, Ghost King sect had announced to the world that no one was allowed to touch the Long family in Chihua Town. Among them, the one who regretted it the most was the Star Cloud Kingdom, because until now, Tang Lin and Ouyang Feng had not reacted. They did not know when Longao had gotten involved with the Ghost King sect, and the Ghost King sect did not hesitate to shed all pretense of cordiality with the Bloodsea sect to protect Longao. Everyone knew very well what the Ghost King sect meant. As one of the 6 sects in Tianju, Ghost King sect's strength was second only to Flame sect and Thunder sect. If Star Cloud Kingdom could get the support of Ghost King sect, Star Cloud Kingdom would definitely rise. But in this world, there was no medicine for regret. Ouyang Feng already knew that it was almost impossible to rope in Longao, but he still didn't give up. He sent Ouyang Fei to Chihua Town in an attempt to ease the relationship between the two sides. In the end, Longao still met Ouyang Fei. But Longao's meaning was very simple. He treated Ouyang Fei as his big brother, but he had nothing to do with Star Cloud Kingdom. He didn't even mention it. Just like that, Ouyang Fei sighed deeply and left Star Cloud Kingdom. From then on, Chihua Town was completely separated from Star Cloud Kingdom. According to Longao's meaning, with Chihua Town's current strength, it would be very difficult to survive. The only way was to develop. Whether it was a town or a city, development wasn't something that could be achieved with strength. It required a large amount of gold coins. But now the Long family was no longer the same as before. With the support of everyone in Chihua Town had undergone earth-shaking changes in just a few months. Chihua Town, Long family, main hall. Chihua Town is now on the right track. If nothing unexpected happens, 10 years later, Chihua Town should be able to develop into an existence like Thundercloud City. Nodding his head, Long Yi said with surprise, "Originally, I thought that Chihua Town would have a hard time after leaving Star Cloud Kingdom. But now, it seems that we were overthinking." Looking at the happy faces of his father and grandfather, Longao also felt a kind of joy. Because he knew that only when Chihua Town was strong, the Long family would be stronger. Therefore, developing Chihua Town was a must. "Grandfather, father, I'll leave Chihua Town's killing intent to you. I'll leave Chihua Town in a while and go out to gain experience." They weren't surprised at all because Long Haosha and Long Yi both knew that Aoa was no longer the child from before. Experts needed to be constantly tempered in order to grow. Aoa, be careful in everything. Remember, the Long family will always be your home. Whenever you're tired, come back. Got it. Late at night, the dark night was dotted with stars. Long Ao sat alone in a small courtyard. According to Long Ao's current position in the Long family, he didn't need to continue living in the small courtyard. But for some reason, Long Ao couldn't bear to leave this place. "Master, I've already tested it. Soul slaves can't leave the dragon seal space for too long. Otherwise, they'll be killed by the spiritual chi of heaven and earth." Hearing this, Long Ao wasn't surprised at all. Originally, Long Ao thought that if he could leave a few soul slaves in the family, then even if the family had some situation, he wouldn't be too far away to help. But now, it was impossible for him to leave the soul slaves. The family didn't have any experts to oversee it. After thinking for a while, Long Ao's eyes suddenly lit up. Chapter 114. Inside the Dragon Seal Space. "Long Fu, is there any way to refine some powerful soul slaves for my family?" "Master, I know what you mean, but it's impossible." After thinking for a while, Long Fu said, "Master, in the blood pool, other than refining soul slaves, you can also refine corpse slaves. However, corpse slaves are weaker than soul slaves, so they can stay outside." He was overjoyed. Whether it was soul slaves or corpse slaves, as long as they could stay outside. "Long Fu, how long will it take for you to refine all my soul slaves into corpse slaves?" "Master, you misunderstood. Refining corpse slaves doesn't require souls, but corpses, so I can't do anything about it." "Corpses, not souls." He was a little depressed. Long Ao knew that it wasn't easy to find a suitable corpse to refine into corpse slaves in a short period of time. Since that was the case, he would go out and look for it. The next day, early morning, Long Ao left the Scarlet Fire town under the gazes of the Long family. First stop, Long Ao went directly to the Thunder Forest. Because in Tianju, there were only two forests with the most powerful spiritual beasts. One was the Flame Forest, and the other was the Thunder Forest. 10 days later in the Thunder Forest, Long Ao and Long Qiong shuttled through the forest. With one man and one dragon working together, there was almost no opponent. Because at this moment, Long Ao's cultivation had reached another level after 10 days of training, breaking through from the peak of evolution to the fusion realm. Long Ao was full of confidence. According to his current strength, once he joined forces with Long Qiong, even if he faced a unification warrior, he would still have the strength to fight. Innate 5 realms, 100 scattered sky realm, 1 line sky realm, evolution realm, fusion realm, unification realm. Transformation 5 realms: Lightning Tribulation Realm, Transformation Realm, Human King Realm, Earth Sovereign Realm, Tao Ancestor Realm. Longao's cultivation had already broken through the fusion realm. He was only one step away from officially advancing to the unification realm. At that time, he could work towards the transformation realm. So, no matter what, he had to find a way to break through to the unification realm as soon as possible. Unity Blood Demon Wolf Pack. Before Longao could react, he was already surrounded by hundreds of Consolidation Realm Blood Demon Wolves. Shocked, Longao did not dare to be careless. He joined forces with Long Qiong and released a few soul slaves. Even so, Longao was still no match for hundreds of Consolidation Realm warriors. In just a few minutes, Longao was already riddled with wounds. Just as he was about to turn around and leave, he was once again struck by a blood demon wolf, and his entire body was sent flying. Enduring the waves of pain in his body, Longao turned around and left quickly. After running for an hour, he barely managed to shake off the gore-fiend wolves. It was a group battle, and they were all at the Consolidation Realm. Even if a Consolidation Realm warrior was here, he would be instantly killed by the blood demon wolves. There was no doubt about it. Sitting on the ground, Longao panted heavily. It seemed that his luck was not very good. In just 10 days, he had already encountered a pack of blood demon wolves. Not continuing to stay in the Thunder Forest, Longao dragged his battered body and walked towards Thunder City. At this moment, Longao finally knew that Thunder City was not ordinary. No matter what, the Thunder Kingdom was always supported by the Thunder Sect. Just this point alone made the Thunder Kingdom's position difficult to shake. As soon as he stepped into the Thunder Kingdom, Longao's whereabouts had already been discovered by various major forces, especially the Thunder Kingdom's third prince, Zhao Hao. The 32 kingdoms that had participated in the Thunder Battle had all received a kill order from Zhao Hao. But in the end, Longao was still safe and sound, and he even obtained second place in the Thunder Battle. Zhao Hao did not care about second place at all. He was prepared to send people to the Scarlet Fire Town to destroy the entire Long family. But in the end, before Zhao Hao could take action, the Ghost King sect had already sent news that no matter who it was, they were not allowed to touch the Long family of the Scarlet Fire Town. The Thunder Kingdom could ignore Longao, but they could not ignore the Ghost King sect. Because of this, even if Zhao Hao had 10,000 unwillingness and anger in his heart, he did not dare to deal with the Long family. He could only vent his anger on Longao. If Longao's generation was hiding in the Scarlet Fire Town, Zhao Hao would not be able to do anything. However, now that Longao stepped into Thunder City, he first found an inn and rested for a night. After his injuries had completely stabilized, he got up and headed to the auction house. Auction house, in a simple room. Brother Long, I was just about to look for you. The third prince, Zhao Hao, has already issued a kill order. No matter who it is, as long as they can kill you, not only will they receive a great reward, they can also become the disciple of the National Guard Hall's Deputy Hall Master. It is too reckless for you to enter Thunder City now. The third prince, Zhao Mang. Hearing the third prince, Zhao Mang, continue to issue a kill order for him, Longao was somewhat surprised. According to Longao's previous thoughts, as long as he could obtain a good ranking in the Thunder Battle, then the Thunder Royal family would stop. However, it seemed that this matter was not that simple. However, after thinking about it, he understood. No matter what, the Thunder Royal family had the support of the Sound of Thunder sect behind them. How could the third prince, Zhao Hao, resist him? Brother Liu, I know what to do. Liu Feng took a deep look at Longao. He was very clear about his character, so he did not continue to dwell on this matter. Instead, he said, Brother Long, did you come to find me for something? That's right. Longao did not hide anything and said straightforwardly, Brother Liu, I came to find you this time mainly to ask, for martial artists, what can help them improve their strength. Regarding his and Long Qiong's desolation sacred body, Longao had always been annoyed. Although it was the #1 physique in cultivation, it was the #1 trash. If he wanted to improve his strength, he needed a lot of power. It seemed that relying on the power that Long Fu had refined was far from enough. It was because of this that Longao thought of Liu Feng. After all, Liu Feng was the president of the auction house. As the largest auction house in Tianju, he believed that there must be many treasures in the auction house that could improve one's strength. Liu Feng was not a fool. Of course, he knew what Longao wanted. After thinking about it, Liu Feng said, "Brother Long, the most important thing for martial artists to improve their strength is to pay attention to their own cultivation. Relying on external objects is not the right way. Brother Long, do you understand what I'm saying?" Longao nodded. How could he not understand the meaning of Liu Feng's words? However, his physique was too special. He could not cultivate like an ordinary martial artist and pay attention to his own cultivation. "Brother Liu, I'm pressed for time. I just want to ask, does the auction house have it?" Seeing that the other party had made up his mind, Liu Feng nodded and said, "Yes, but no matter what spiritual grass it is, it must be refined into an elixir, so." Chapter 115. Elixir. Hearing Liu Feng's words, Longao was enlightened. For a long time, other than cultivating and killing, he had completely forgotten about elixirs. "Brother Long, I know you are an alchemist, so if you want to increase your strength quickly, you can refine elixirs or buy elixirs." "Understood. Brother Long, although elixirs can help increase a cultivator's strength, taking too much of it will only bring harm and no benefits. So, as I said before, self-cultivation is the most important." Nodding his head, Longao did not continue to stay. He left the auction house and prepared to refine elixirs. Long Yili and Duan Mulin, along with a group of thugs, coldly walked towards this side. Enemies meet on a narrow road. Longao loathed these two people, so much so that he didn't even want to look at them. "Oh, isn't this our great genius Long Yili? Brother Long, don't talk nonsense. Longao obtained second place in the thunder battle. Such a talent is simply trash. Get lost." Ignoring the two of them, Longao could clearly sense that there were two evolved cultivators among the thugs brought by the two of them. Otherwise, Long Yili and Duan Mulin would not dare to act like this. "Longao, you have offended the third prince. Could it be that you intend to leave just like this? Idiot, trash. You dare to scold us? Long Yili, Duan Mulin, I am truly puzzled. You two are the best among the scum. Unexpectedly you are still alive in this world. I feel sad for your mother, Ari." Looking at the regretful face of the youth, Long Yili and Duan Mulin were instantly enraged. However, before the two of them could make a move, Longao had already rushed out. A figure flashed, and before the two of them could react, two miserable shrieks rang out. The two evolved cultivators they brought had already turned into two corpses. Looking at the two corpses on the ground, Long Yili and Duan Mulin were completely dumbfounded. The two of them had never imagined that the other party would dare to make a move and be so powerful, killing two evolved cultivators in one move. "Longao, you, scram." Longao was already impatient, and his body emitted powerful aura, which covered the sky and covered the earth. How could they resist the pressure of Longao's aura with the strength of Duan Mulin and Long Yi? "If you dare provoke me again, I'll kill you without mercy." Looking at the youngster who had turned around and left, the complexion of Long Yili and Duan Mulin was simply unsightly to the extreme. Both of them deeply looked at each other, and their face simultaneously revealed a trace of cruel and gloomy coldness. In Thunder City, other than the Thunder Imperial family, there were three other great clans. They were the Level 4 Long clan, Duanmu clan, and Jiang clan. Longao was very depressed. He didn't know why, but he had provoked the four major powers of Thunder City. It seemed like he was in a very dangerous situation. Without continuing to be entangled, Longao immediately crammed his knowledge on alchemy. As an alchemy genius, in just a few hours, he had roughly looked through many alchemy pills. After looking around, Longao discovered that there were many alchemy pills that could increase a cultivator's strength. However, they were divided into different grades. Obviously, high-grade alchemy pills were of great help to increase a cultivator's strength. Low-grade alchemy pills were of little help to increase a cultivator's strength. Among the numerous alchemy pills, Longao chose a type of pill called Rising Dragon Pill. According to the information he received, Longao already knew that alchemists were divided into different levels. From low to high, they were divided into Level 1 Alchemist, Level 2 Alchemist, Level 3 Alchemist, Level 4 Alchemist, Level 5 Alchemist, Level 6 Alchemist, Level 7 Alchemist, Level 8 Alchemist, Level 9 Alchemist, King Level Alchemist, Emperor Level Alchemist, Venerable Level Alchemist, Emperor Level Alchemist, Emperor Level Alchemist, and God Level Alchemist. Correspondingly, pills were also divided into different grades. From low to high, they were Level 1 pills, Level 2 pills, Level 3 pills, Level 4 pills, Level 5 pills, Level 6 pills, Level 7 pills, Level 8 pills, Level 9 pills, King Level pills, Emperor Level pills, Venerable Level pills, Emperor Level pills, and Divine Level pills. Thinking about his current level of alchemy, Longao helplessly knew that according to his current level of alchemy, he was at most a Tier 9 alchemist. Even so, it was impossible to refine the Rising Dragon Pill. The Rising Dragon Pill was an Emperor level pill. With his current level of alchemy, would he be able to successfully refine it? With no other choice, Longao could only go to the Alchemy Guild to see if he could buy the Rising Dragon Pill. As the saying goes, if you don't see it, you won't know. Once he saw it, he was shocked. The price of one Rising Dragon Pill was too expensive. Not to mention a few, he couldn't even afford one. In the end, Longao decided to give up on the pill and wait until he could refine the Rising Dragon Pill in the future. Longao had just returned to the inn when he was summoned by the Thunder Imperial family. Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew that he was in Thunder City. If he didn't go, the consequences would be unimaginable. Thunder Imperial family. As the absolute overlord of the Thunder Empire, the Thunder Imperial family's position was unshakable. In a pavilion in the back garden, Longao came to the pavilion and found that there were only two people. One of them was a middle-aged man wearing a yellow robe with a dignified face. There was no need to guess. Longao already knew that this middle-aged man should be the Thunder Empire's emperor, Zhao Mang. Longao pays his respects to your majesty. Longao didn't kneel. Zhao Mang didn't seem to mind. He smiled and said, Longao, come and sit. Let me introduce you. This is the National Guard Hall's Hall Master, Gu Bai. The National Guard Hall's Hall Master, Gu Bai? Longao seemed a little surprised because he knew very well that the National Guard Hall of the Thunder Empire and the National Guard Hall of the Star Cloud Kingdom were fundamentally different. It wasn't just strength, but also status and identity. Longao didn't have the slightest trace of politeness. He sat in the pavilion, picked up the teacup on the stone table, took a sip, and praised, good tea. Gu Bai and Zhao Mang seemed a little surprised to see that Longao didn't have the slightest trace of restraint. At this time, Gu Bai said, Longao, this time you won the 2nd place of the Thunder Battle and entered the 70th place of the 100 Battle ranking. I am now officially inviting you to join the Thunder Empire Guard Hall. I don't know if you are interested. It would be strange if an ordinary person wasn't happy to receive Gu Bai's invitation. However, Longao was very calm because he had already guessed that the Thunder Empire Guard Hall would invite him since he won the 2nd place of the Thunder Battle. Hall Master, I believe you all know about the matter between me and the National Guard Hall. To be honest, I no longer trust any National Guard Hall. Therefore, I have decided that from now on, I will not join any National Guard Hall. Gu Bai and Zhao Mang naturally knew about the matter between Longao and the National Guard Hall. Gu Bai smiled and said, the Star Cloud Kingdom is indeed in the wrong. However, Longao, I can assure you that as long as you join the Thunder Empire Guard Hall, no matter what happens, the National Guard Hall will not abandon you. If I violate this promise, may the heavens and earth destroy me. Chapter 116. He was very surprised. Longao never thought that Gu Bai would say that. But could he really agree? The answer was obviously no. With an apologetic expression, Longao spoke the truth, I believe the hall leader's words. But I'm still very sorry, I can't join the Thunder Nation Guardian Hall. Longao thought that Gu Bai would be angry, but he didn't expect that Gu Bai wasn't angry. Instead, he smiled and said, I understand. Zhao Mang, who had been silent all this time, suddenly said, Longao, we know about your situation, so we won't force you. As for what Hao did to you before, I've already stopped him. Longao didn't say anything because he didn't like Zhao Hao very much. But seeing Zhao Hao's old man like this, Longao didn't continue to argue. Not to mention, with his current strength, he couldn't fight against the entire Thunder Nation. Not to mention, the Thunder Nation had the Thunder Sect's support. Your Majesty, you called me here this time, is there something you need? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he could hear the hidden meaning in Zhao Mang's words. It couldn't be just for this matter. As expected. Zhao Mang and Gu Bai looked at each other. Zhao Mang said, Longao, you should have heard of the Fire Nation, right? Longao nodded. Of course, he wasn't unfamiliar with the Fire Nation. As one of the two great empires in Tianzhu, the Fire Nation and the Thunder Nation were absolute overlords of Tianzhu. The two empires jointly controlled the entire Tianzhu. Longao was curious. He didn't know why Zhao Mang suddenly mentioned the Fire Nation to him. Longao, I'll get straight to the point. Within Tianzhu, there are only two great empires that can dominate, the Fire Nation and the Thunder Nation. Every few years, the two empires will hold a war for supremacy. During the war, the winner can obtain the treasures of both empires. War for supremacy? Longao still didn't understand. What did the war between the Fire Nation and the Thunder Nation have to do with him? Every war of hegemony is actually a battle between the two empires to gain face. In the last 3 war of hegemony, our Thunder Empire has already lost 3 times in a row. Thus, in this war of hegemony, we can only win, not lose. Your Majesty, does this have anything to do with me? Both empires will send out 20 Xiantian realm martial artists to participate in every war of supremacy. Therefore, I hope that you can represent the Thunder Empire in this war of supremacy. Here comes the main topic. Longao also hadn't expected that Zhao Mang would allow him to represent the Thunder Empire in the struggle for supremacy. Before Longao could speak, Zhao Mang said, Longao, as long as you can represent the Thunder Empire in the war of hegemony, you can make 2 requests. Your Majesty, can I ask you a question? Sure. There are many experts in the Thunder Empire. Why choose me? Longao was very puzzled by this. The Thunderclap Empire was filled with experts and even had the support of the Thunderclap sect. Since that was the case, why would Zhao Mang come looking for him? After all, he wasn't invincible. Chuckling, Zhao Mang said, Longao, I've already investigated your potential and strength. Only Xiantian martial artists are allowed to participate in the struggle for hegemony between the 2 countries. And among Xiantian martial artists, your strength should be able to help the Thunder Empire. So that's how it is. When all was said and done, the 20 people each country could send out could only be Xiantian martial artists. As for transformation realm martial artists, they couldn't participate. Longao, what do you think? Longao smiled helplessly in his heart. He was very clear that since Zhao Mang had already come looking for him, it seemed he was determined to win. If he refused, would that work? Helpless, Longao nodded and said, Your Majesty, I can agree. I have 2 conditions. The first condition is that the Thunder Empire must fully support the development of Scarlet Flametown, but Scarlet Flametown must still exist independently. No problem. Within 3 years, Scarlet Flametown will surpass Starcloud City. Zhao Mang didn't even think about it and directly agreed. This matter was simply a drop in the bucket for Thunder Empire. The second condition is that the Thunder Empire will give me 100 Rising Dragon Pills. I want them now. 100 Rising Dragon Pills was an exorbitant demand. The value of 100 Rising Dragon Pills was simply too great. But Longao was very clear in his heart that 100 Rising Dragon Pills might be impossible for him, but to the Thunder Empire, it was nothing. Zhao Mang thought for a moment and asked, Longao, I'll ask you this. What do you need so many Rising Dragon Pills for? To increase my strength. Gu Bai, who was at the side, suddenly said, Longao, I want to remind you that if you take too many Tunglong Dan, not only will it not have any benefits, it will also hinder your cultivation speed. 3 Tunglong Dan is enough, and it is also the most suitable for you. Longao naturally knew that Gu Bai had good intentions. He smiled and said, Your Majesty, Hall Master, I know what to do. Good, since that's the case, 100 rising dragon pills isn't a problem. You'll officially set off in 10 days, so you have 10 days to properly cultivate. Since things had already reached this point, Longao didn't continue to stay. He took the 100 rising dragon pills and turned to leave. Brother Gu, Longao is only in the fusion realm. Is he really qualified to represent the Thunder Empire in the struggle for supremacy? Nodding his head, Gu Bai said, This child's talent and potential are top-notch. Moreover, the person that the Ghost King has taken a fancy to should have some outstanding aspects. Your Majesty, this child will represent the Thunder Empire in the war between the two countries. Perhaps he can really turn the tables for us. Zhao Mang still seemed a little uneasy, but since Gu Bai had already said so, he couldn't say anything more. Your Majesty, don't worry. I have confidence in this child. It's just that the third prince, Zhao Mang waved his hand, seemingly disliking this son of his very much. He said angrily, Useless thing. If it wasn't for the Thunder Sect, I would have crippled this thing long ago. Our imperial family's face is completely lost. Your Majesty, you still can't let go of that matter. How can I let go? That matter is the shame of my life. Sooner or later, I will definitely get it back. Looking at His Majesty beside him, Gu Bai sighed deeply and said, Your Majesty, with the strength and foundation of the Thunder Sect, it's almost impossible for us to break away from them. Zhao Mang waved his hand and his expression returned to normal. He suddenly smiled and said, Of course I know that with our current strength, it's impossible for us to break away from the Thunder Sect. But our opportunity is coming. As long as the old ancestor comes out of seclusion, we might be able to break away. Old ancestor? At first, Gu Bai was overjoyed. Then, his expression turned serious again. Even if the old ancestor comes out of seclusion, can the Thunder Empire really break away from the Thunder Sect? Chapter 117. After leaving the back garden, just as Longao was about to leave, a youth walked towards him. His face was cold and his expression was as ugly as it could be. Longao, consider yourself lucky this time, but don't think that I will let you go. Zhao Hao, you are the Empire's third prince. Zhao Hao didn't know what Longao meant by this, but he still nodded and asked, So what if I am? With a contemptuous smile, Longao said, And here I thought you were a street hoodlum. I always thought that with your patriotism, dedication, and backbone, you would look like a person. But now, I realize that I was wrong. You. Without waiting for Zhao Hao to say anything, Longao continued, A person is cheap for life, a pig is cheap with a knife. For someone like you, living is a waste of air. I believe that when you die, you will also be a waste of land. Sad, sad. Hearing this, Zhao Hao was instantly enraged. As the third prince of the Thunder Empire, who dared to speak to him like this? But due to Zhao Mang's orders, Zhao Hao could only be angry and didn't dare to do anything. A prince was a prince. His status was always below the emperor. However, Zhao Hao sneered and said, Longao, if it weren't for Imperial Father's orders, you would already be dead. Trash. Ha ha ha, Zhao Hao, can you do it with just you? Seeing the contempt on Zhao Hao's face, Zhao Hao was clearly enraged. However, Zhao Hao was no fool. He knew very well that with his strength, he was simply no match for the other party. Clenching his fists tightly, Zhao Hao suddenly sneered and said, Longao, I heard that this time, you will be representing the imperial family in the struggle for power between the two countries. I advise you to be careful in everything you do. Otherwise, when the time comes, you won't even know how you died. Longao couldn't be bothered with Zhao Hao. He was just a parasite that relied on the imperial family to commit crimes. He turned and left. Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, Zhao Hao's lips curled into a sinister smile. He muttered to himself, Longao, I will make you regret this. After leaving the Thunder Imperial family, Longao used his fastest speed to find an extremely secluded place. 10 days. 10 days later, he would be representing the Thunder Empire in the struggle for power between the two countries. Therefore, in these 10 days, every bit of strength increase was a little bit. 100 rising dragon pills. Longao knew that he couldn't consume 100 rising dragon pills at the same time. In the dragon seal space. Long Fu, do you have a way to refine the 100 rising dragon pills in my hands into energy that I can absorb? Nodding his head, Long Fu said, Master, it's possible. As long as you put all 100 rising dragon pills into the blood pool, you'll be able to refine energy for your cultivation. Longao didn't ask any questions about the blood pool because he knew that even if he asked, Long Fu might not tell him. Since that was the case, why bother? Long Fu, how long will it take to refine 100 rising dragon pills? 3 days. Nodding his head, 3 days was nothing to a cultivator. After leaving the dragon seal space, Longao returned to the inn. He was stopped by a person. It was Long Yili, who he had beaten away during the day. At this moment, Longao finally released his killing intent. He coldly said, Long Yili, do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Do you dare? Longao still suppressed his impulse. After all, the Long family behind Long Yili was a 4th-rank family. It wasn't something a 6th-rank family could compare to. Long family was a powerful family in the Martial Sky continent. They had countless branches and were divided into 9 ranks. A 9th-rank family was the lowest and a 1st-rank family was the highest. Furthermore, a 3rd-rank Long family could enter the Dragon Valley and find a dragon as a companion to become a dragon warrior. If he was alone, Longao wouldn't have the slightest misgivings. But no matter what, he had a family behind him. He couldn't implicate his sect. Longao, I didn't come to find trouble with you. I heard that you're going to represent the Thunder Imperial family in the Battle of the Two Empires. Longao wasn't surprised at all because he already had a general understanding of the war of hegemony between the two empires. The Thunder National Guard Hall wasn't the only one participating in the war of hegemony between the two empires. Even the 3 great clans would send experts to participate. In other words, the Thunder Imperial family and the 3 great families would be sending out 20 people. So what if I am? Nothing, I just want to make a deal with you. How about it? Deal? Longao was very surprised. He didn't know why, but he felt that the current Long Yili was different from the hedonistic young master he had seen during the day. What deal? I know your strength and potential. I also know a thing or two about you. So, the deal is very simple. In the Battle of the Two Empires, you help me kill someone. You can name any price you want. Kill someone? Who? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he wouldn't agree immediately. Who knew who Long Yili wanted to kill? If it was a transformation realm cultivator, not to mention killing the other party, it would be good enough if he didn't get killed. Long Jing, an elder of my rank 4 Long family. He's also my father's enemy. Now, I just want to ask if you agree to this deal. Long Jing also wants to participate in the Battle of the Two Empires? Yes. Although Long Yili didn't say it explicitly, Longao already knew Long Jing's strength. This was because there was an agreement between the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire. In every battle of the two empires, the participants of each empire couldn't exceed the Consolidation Realm. In other words, warriors of the Transformation Realm weren't allowed to participate. With Longao's current strength, he wasn't afraid of a Consolidation Realm warrior at all. If he added Long Qiong, it was even possible to kill a Consolidation Realm warrior. The question now was, why would he provoke the Long family and a Consolidation Realm warrior because of Long Yili? Once this matter was exposed, the consequences would be unimaginable. Longao, as long as you agree to this, I will also agree to one of your conditions, no matter what it is. Long Yili, why are you so sure that I can kill Long Jing? If there are no accidents, Long Jing should be a Consolidation Realm warrior, and I'm only at the Fusion Realm. Haha, Longao, You don't have to ask any more questions. You just have to answer. Are you willing to make a deal with me? Longao thought for a while and finally asked, I can agree, but you have to agree to 2 of my conditions. First, I can name your conditions. Second, you have to fulfill my conditions now. How about it? No problem, I promise you. Without even thinking, Long Yili directly agreed. Chapter 118. Although Longao put forward 2 conditions, it was actually 1 condition, but the premise was that he had to fulfill it immediately. Long Yili, my condition is very simple. If I help you kill Long Jing, you have to give me 1,000 Tunglong pills. What did you say? Long Yili seemed to have not reacted. After all, he knew better than anyone what 1,000 Tunglong pills meant. Longao, are you out of your mind? You actually want 1,000 Tunglong pills? Do you really think I have to find you? Long Yili was clearly enraged. What kind of joke was this? 1,000 rising dragon dans? Not to mention him, even if it was the 4th rank Long family or even the Thunder Imperial family, wanting to take out 1,000 rising dragon dans was not an easy matter. Long Ao still had an indifferent expression and said indifferently, Long Yili, you have to remember that you are begging me now, not me begging you. 1,000 Tunglong pills, not 1 less. Before Long Yili could speak, Long Ao continued, 1,000 Tunglong pills can let my cultivation break through to the consolidation realm. At that time, I have full confidence that I can help you kill Long Jing. Whether you agree or not depends on you, not on me. 1,000 Tunglong pills. Long Yili really wanted to agree, but he really could not take out 1,000 Tunglong pills. Could it be that he had to give up just like that? But one had to know that he had waited for this opportunity for a full 10 years. If he gave up, who knew when he would get another opportunity? So Long Yili told himself that no matter what happened, he could not give up. Long Jing must die. Thinking of this, Long Yili said, Long Ao, I know that you want 1,000 Tunglong pills to increase your strength. How about this? I will use other treasures to replace them. How about it? Hearing Long Yili's words, Long Ao was very surprised and asked, let me hear it. If I am satisfied, I can replace it. I don't have 1,000 Tunglong pills, but I have a 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. Even if its value is not worth 1,000 Tunglong pills, I believe it will be of great help to you to increase your strength. 10,000-year-old bloodlingji? What the hell was that? Long Ao did not know what the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji was. Master, promise him. Hearing Long Fu's words, Long Ao's heart moved, but before he agreed, he asked, Long Yili, there is one thing that I am very suspicious of. Since you possess the 10,000 years old bloodlingji, why did you give it to me? Why didn't you consume it? Or find someone else to take it? As if he had already guessed that Long Ao would ask such a question, Long Yili didn't feel the slightest bit surprised. Firstly, with my strength, once I consume the 10,000-year bloodlingji, my body will immediately explode and I will die. Long Ao agreed with this point. After all, the treasure that Long Fu had taken a fancy to was at the level of the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. Secondly, if I were to look for an expert, who would I look for if they took my 10,000 years old bloodlingji but didn't fulfill the agreement? If you look for someone weak, not only will it be useless, you will also lose a 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. Originally, Long Ao still had questions, but after hearing Long Yili's words, he nodded his head and said, I will ask you one last question. Why did you choose me? I don't know why, but I just think that you can avenge me. It's that simple. It's that simple. Deal. Long Ao didn't continue to speak nonsense. If he were to give up such a good thing, even he would feel sorry for himself. He said, I want the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji now. Long Yili didn't continue to speak, but turned around and left. Long Ao was somewhat impatient. He returned to the tavern and communicated with the dragon mark with his soul. He immediately entered the dragon mark space and impatiently asked, Long Fu, you know about the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji? Yes, master. The 10,000-year-old bloodlingji is 10 times more valuable than the 100 rising dragon pellets you just gave me. Moreover, it is more beneficial for you and Long Qiong to cultivate. Hearing this, Longao was delighted and said, "Since it is like this, I will leave the matter of refining the 100 rising dragon pellets and the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji to you. Long Fu, remember one thing, you must be fast." "No problem, master, please be at ease." After leaving the dragon seal space, Longao sat in an inn, ordered some breakfast and ate a simple meal. Long Yili left quickly and returned quickly. In a short half an hour, he had already returned with the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. He said, "Longao, I hope you can abide by the agreement between us. If you don't believe me, we can immediately cancel our agreement." When he turned around and left, Long Yili's voice was transmitted, "Longao, I hope you don't disappoint me. Otherwise, I will not let you off." Looking at the figure gradually disappearing into the distance, Longao's eyes began to gradually cool down. He had already discovered that Long Yili wasn't like his usual self, hiding his strength deeply. Longao didn't continue to think about what kind of person Long Yili was. He only knew one thing, and that was to help Long Yili kill Longjing. Then, he would be able to obtain the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji. Not daring to have the slightest hesitation, Longao immediately sent the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji he had just obtained into the dragon mark space. He was pleasantly surprised. Longao was very clear in his heart that once Long Fu finished refining the 100 rising dragon pills and the 10,000-year-old bloodlingji, not only him, but even Xiao Qiong would be able to increase his strength. The sacred desolation physique required a large amount of energy to be poured in. Now, there were two sacred desolation physiques walking together. The amount of energy required was astronomical. After dealing with the problem of energy, Longao had two things to do next. The first thing was to absorb the energy refined from the blood pool in 3 days and quickly increase his strength. The second thing was to participate in the Battle of the Two Nations in 10 days. Not only did he have to obtain a ranking, but he also had to kill Longjing. "Brother, are you called Brother Longao?" Looking at the little girl who had suddenly appeared in front of him, Longao was very curious. He squatted down and asked in an extremely gentle voice, "Little sister, my name is Longao. Are you looking for me for something?" The little girl's chubby smiling face suddenly stretched out her hand and said immaturely, "Brother Longao, someone asked me to bring you a message, but you have to give me 100 gold coins first." 100 gold coins? Longao was very curious. He didn't know who was looking for him. Out of curiosity, he took out 100 gold coins from his bosom and gave it to the little girl. He asked, "Little sister, what is it?" "Brother Longao, that person asked me to bring you a message. He said that he wants you to meet him at the moon-gazing tower in 10 minutes. Looking at the little girl who had turned around and left, Longao became even more curious. Moon-gazing tower? Longao suddenly thought, could it be a trick played by the third prince, Zhao Hao? That shouldn't be the case. Zhao Hao was only a prince. How could he dare to cause trouble for him so openly? Was he not afraid of Zhao Mang's reprimand? However, even if that was the case, Longao still walked toward the moon-gazing tower, a very famous scenic spot in Thunder City. Chapter 119. Moon-gazing pagoda. Moon-gazing pagoda, Thunder City's most famous scenic spot. Every year, many people would come to see the moon-gazing pagoda. Longao arrived at the moon-gazing pagoda and looked at the 9-story pagoda. Even now, Longao still couldn't figure out who would invite him here. Was it really the third Prince Zhao Hao? Longao had been thinking about this question the whole time as he walked. He realized that this was almost an impossible thing. If it really was the third Prince Zhao Hao, why would he look for a little girl? 9-story moon-gazing pagoda. Since he was already here, Longao didn't continue. He finally took a step forward, one floor after another. After a few minutes, he finally arrived at the top of the moon-gazing pagoda. At this moment, Longao finally realized that something was wrong. As Thunder City's most famous scenic spot, the moon-gazing pagoda could be said to be filled with a sea of people, even a little crowded. But now, the entire moon-gazing pagoda, from the 1st to the 9th floor, was empty. In the entire Thunder City, there were only 2 people who could do this. One was the Thunder Imperial family's emperor, Zhao Mang, and the other was the Thunder National Guardian Hall's Hall Master, Jiyu Bai. Since you asked me to come here, why don't you show yourself? No one answered. If you still don't show yourself, then I'll leave first. Longao turned around and prepared to leave. This move of retreating in order to advance was very effective. With a PFFFT sound, Aoshue slowly walked out with her hand covering her mouth. Seeing Aoshue, Longao was stunned at first, then he smiled. Seeing Aoshue at this time, it was indeed a wonderful thing to send charcoal in snowy weather. What's more, Aoshue was the woman who took his first time. Just this point alone, Aoshue, this woman, he would never forget for the rest of his life. Longao, you just saw me. Are you going to leave? How would I know it was you? Coming to Aoshue's side, Longao asked curiously, Aoshue, how did you do it? Aoshue certainly understood the meaning of Longao's words. He smiled mysteriously and said, don't worry. Although the Thunder Empire has the support of the Sound of Thunder sect, they have to give face to the Ghost King sect. I'm only using the moon-gazing pagoda for a day. The Thunder Imperial family won't refuse. This was power, this was a foundation. Longao knew very well that if it was just Aoshue alone, it would be impossible to achieve this. All of this was because of the Ghost King sect behind Aoshue. Longao still wanted to say something, but Aoshue hushed him. After that, neither of them continued to speak. They stood quietly on the 9th floor of the moon-gazing tower, looking at the setting sun in the distance. The sun was setting in the west, leaving behind a red glow on the horizon. The glow of the sunset sprinkled on the calm ground, causing the ground to shine with a brilliant radiance. A gentle breeze blew across the country, causing layers of ripples to appear on the ground. Each ripple was jumping, as if there were countless pairs of golden eyes blinking. It was very beautiful. Dusk finally left, and darkness gradually descended. Aoshue stretched and said with a sigh, the sunset is the most beautiful. Longao, I heard that you're going to participate in the war between the two countries. Longao didn't hide anything from Aoshue. He nodded and said, yes. Listen to me, immediately withdraw from the war between the two countries. This matter won't benefit you at all. Looking at Aoshue's serious face, Longao was very curious. He asked in confusion, Aoshue, why? Longao, you don't know. The Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire both have sects behind them. The war between the two countries is actually a battle between the Fire sect and the Thunder sect. If you lose, your life will be in danger. If you win, not only will you offend the Fire Empire, you will also offend the Fire sect. Why do you want to do something that will put you in an awkward situation? So that's how it is. Thinking about Aoshue's words, Longao felt that this matter was indeed very troublesome. After all, the war between the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire was related to the reputation of the two sects. Whether he won or lost, it would be a troublesome matter. Before this, Longao indeed hadn't thought about these problems. If he knew that this matter would be so troublesome, he wouldn't have agreed no matter what. However, Longao was very clear that since he had already agreed, he had to see it through to the end. A person must have integrity. It was because of this that Longao said, Aoshue, I've already made up my mind. No matter what, I will participate in the war between the two countries in 10 days. Aoshue understood Longao's character very well. Although she was a bit worried, she said, Longao, you must remember, don't be reckless. Don't stick your head out. Do your best to hide yourself. Understand? Longao naturally knew that Aoshue was doing this for his own good. He nodded and promised, don't worry, I will keep my life. Just like this, Aoshue and Longao left the moon-gazing tower. In the next minute, the originally empty moon-gazing tower was once again filled with a sea of people. 80% of the people were cursing, but they didn't dare to say anything. After all, the one who sealed the moon-gazing tower was the Thunder Imperial family. Longao was very surprised by Aoshue's sudden appearance this time, but more than that, he felt warm. Returning to the inn, Longao didn't continue to wander around. Instead, he quietly stayed in the inn and cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 2 days had passed. The third day, dusk. Long Fu had successfully refined 100 rising dragon pills and 10,000 years old bloodling mushrooms. They turned into a powerful force that continuously entered Longao and Long Chong's bodies. The crazy influx of power made Longao and Long Chong not dare to be careless. Whether it was Longao or Long Chong, they knew very well that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the two of them. Longao and Long Chong both had the desolate saint body. The amount of power they needed was definitely a terrifying number. However, the power refined from 100 rising dragon pills and 10,000 years old bloodling mushrooms was a very large existence. It was enough for Longao and Long Chong to absorb. However, Longao and Long Chong weren't fools. Of course, they knew that it was impossible for them to absorb all of it. If that was the case, not only would it not benefit them, but it would also be harmful. It was precisely because of this that Longao and Long Chong only absorbed 1/3 of it. They were both cultivating and preparing for a breakthrough. In just 5 days, Longao and Long Chong's cultivation had both broken through to the peak of the fusion realm. They were only one step away from officially breaking through to the consolidation realm. However, time didn't allow for it. After all, the next day was the battle between the two countries. Today, the emissaries of the Fire Empire would enter Thunder City. On the 9th day, there was only 1 day left before the battle between the two countries. As the emissary of the Thunder Empire, Longao was summoned into the palace by the Thunder Imperial family. In the main hall, Zhao Mang sat on the dragon throne while Ji Bai sat beside him. Below them, besides the princes, were the 20 participants of the battle between the two countries. Longao stood at the back. Looking at the 19 people in front of him, he had a rough understanding of them. Of the 19 people, 10 were from the Thunder Imperial family. The remaining 9 were from the 3 major families. Including himself, there were 20 people in total. Chapter 120. Longjing. Looking at the Longjing that Long Yili was talking about, Longao's lips curled into a cold smile. Cough, cough. At this time, Zhao Mang suddenly said, "Everyone here is the cornerstone of my Thunder Empire. This time, you will be representing my Thunder Empire in the struggle for supremacy between the two countries." The 20 people who represented the Thunder Empire in the war were all unification martial artists. Only Longao was a fusion martial artist. Because of this, the 19 people looked down on Longao. But because of Zhao Mang, they couldn't say anything. "Everyone, the envoy from the Flame Empire will arrive soon. Follow me to welcome them." The location of the war changed. This time, the war was held in the Flame Empire. The next war would be held in the Thunder Empire. This time, it was the Thunder Empire's turn. Then, Zhao Mang and Ji Bai personally led Longao, the 20 people, and the princes out of the hall. They stood at the entrance of the palace, waiting for the envoy from the Flame Empire. After a while, the sound of horse hooves came from afar. Then, 20 tall horses rushed over. Even after entering the market, they didn't seem to have any intention of slowing down. Seeing this, Zhao Mang, Ji Bai, and the others' expressions changed. But because of the Flame Empire, they could only endure it. The Flame Empire was one of the 2 great empires in Tianzhu. This time, the Flame Empire sent a total of 22 people. Other than the 20 who were participating in the war, there was also the deputy head of the Flame Empire's National Guard Hall, Ji Yufeng, and Prince Dongfang Suo. Longao had a basic understanding of the 22 people's identity and strength. Because of this, he was curious. When he participated in the Thunder Battle, he killed the deputy head of the Thunder National Guard Hall, Qiao Cheng, who was only a peak fusion warrior. But what about the Flame Empire? The deputy head of the Flame Empire was a unification warrior. How could a warrior at the peak of the fusion stage become the deputy hall master of the Thunder National Guard Hall? After a while, the envoy from the Flame Empire entered the palace. Zhao Mang received him personally and said with a smile, "The Thunder Empire welcomes the envoy from the Flame Empire." "Ha ha ha, Your Majesty is too polite. His Majesty asked me to take care." Zhao Mang's expression became indifferent. He turned and left. Ji Feng shrugged, not minding, and followed him. Inside the main hall, as soon as everyone took their seats, both sides started introducing each other. The Fire Empire and Thunder Empire had 20 people each. It could be said that whether it was the 20 people from the Flame Empire or the Thunder Empire, they were all elites among elites of the two empires. Out of the 40 people from the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire who were participating in the war, 39 of them were unification warriors. Only one person, Longao from the Thunder Empire, was a fusion warrior. The 22 people from the Fire Empire seemed to be surprised. They could not understand why the Thunder Empire would send out a fusion martial artist. The Thunder Empire is getting more and more useless. Looks like our Flame Empire is going to win the championship 4 times in a row. How boring. What the F***ck are you talking about there? It was a rare sight for a Unification Realm warrior to scold someone. However, at this moment, although the war between the two countries had not officially begun, the two empires were already surging with undercurrents. Am I wrong? The Thunder Empire actually sent out a fusion martial artist to participate in the war between the two countries. I don't know if the Thunder Empire is useless or if they have lost their confidence and dare not continue to fight with our Flame Empire. Yes, if the Thunder Empire gives up, we will announce to the world that you lost and not ran away in fear. Insolent. Ji Bai's face turned cold as a powerful aura emanated from his body, directly suppressing the entire area. Of the 40 people present, not a single one was able to withstand it. It was like an ant facing an elephant. Metamorphosis Realm Warrior. Feeling the powerful aura emitted from Ji Bai's body, Longao's heart moved. He had already guessed that Ji Bai was a transformed martial artist who was above the Xiantian martial artists. No wonder Ji Bai could become the Hall Master of the Thunder National Guard Hall. The Fire Empire is too presumptuous. Whoever the Thunder Empire sends to participate in the war between the two countries is our business. What does it have to do with the Fire Empire? The 22 people from the Fire Empire were speechless. None of them dared to say a word. No matter what, they were still part of the Thunder Empire. What if the other party really went crazy and killed all 22 of them? The aura of a Metamorphosis Realm Warrior was terrifying. It was impossible for a mere Xiantian Realm Warrior to withstand it. However, Ji Bai only released it for a few minutes before choosing to give up. No matter what, the 22 people represented the Fire Empire. If they were killed without participating in the war between the two countries, the consequences would be severe. Zhao Mang suddenly laughed and said heartily, "The war between the two countries will begin tomorrow. The 22 of you can go and rest first." It wasn't easy for someone to come out and smooth things over. The 22 people didn't dare to stay any longer. One after another, they ran away faster than rabbits. In the blink of an eye, they had disappeared without a trace. Longao looked at all this coldly. From the moment he decided to participate in the war between the two countries, he was already prepared to bear all this. Fusion Realm Warriors, among the 19 Unification Realm Warriors, were indeed like cranes in a flock of chickens. However, Longao didn't care. Longao was full of confidence. With his current strength, even if he met a Unification Realm Warrior, he would definitely be able to fight. If he could join forces with Long Qiong, even killing a Unification Realm Warrior would be a piece of cake. It was precisely because of this that Longao wasn't worried in the slightest. Longao, you can treat the Fire Empire's words as nonsense. Tomorrow, in the war between the two countries, everything depends on you. Everything depends on you. Ji Bai's words caused an uproar. After all, Longao was the only Fusion Realm Warrior among the 20 people. What right did Longao have to rely on you? Upon hearing Ji Bai's words, Longao's heart turned cold. He wasn't a fool. Of course, he could understand the meaning behind Ji Bai's words. Could Ji Bai want to harm him? After thinking about it, Longao felt that this wasn't quite possible. No matter what, Ji Bai was still the Hall Master of the Thunder Nation Protection Hall. If he wanted to deal with him, there was no need for him to do so. He just had to do it openly. Furthermore, Gu Bai had the support of the Thunder Nation and the National Guard Hall behind him. If he wanted to deal with him, it would be a piece of cake. What exactly did Gu Bai mean? Sure enough, as soon as Gu Bai finished speaking, the 19 members who were participating in the battle for supremacy glared at Longao. Each and every one of them looked like fiends, wishing that they could go up and bite him to death. Chapter 121. Inside the main hall. Only Zhao Mang and Gu Bai were left in the main hall. Zhao Mang's expression was grave as he asked, "Brother Gu, what is the meaning of this?" Gu Bai naturally knew what Zhao Mang meant. He replied coldly, "Your Majesty, this brat is too daring. He actually killed Qiao Cheng and the other 3. If I don't do something, how can I answer to the National Guard Hall?" If Longao was present, he would definitely be shocked to hear Gu Bai's words. Back then, when Longao killed Qiao Cheng and the other 3 in the Thunder Forest, no one saw it. However, every member of the National Guard Hall had a special connection. Before Qiao Cheng died, he had already sent the news back to the National Guard Hall. "Brother Gu, this matter has already passed. Why don't we just let it go? Your Majesty, I will deal with this matter." Seeing Gu Bai leave, Zhao Mang sighed deeply. However, between the National Guard Hall and Longao, he would definitely choose Gu Bai and the National Guard Hall, not Longao. No matter how great Longao's potential was, it was impossible for him to compare to a transformation realm martial artist and the entire National Guard Hall. Originally, under normal circumstances, all 20 of them were not allowed to leave the imperial family today. However, Longao did not want to continue staying in the imperial family. He looked at the city wall behind him and muttered to himself, "Gu Bai, I won't be tricked by you." Longao was not a fool. He naturally knew that Gu Bai was hostile towards him. After thinking about it, Longao could only think of one possibility. That was when he killed the 4 members of the National Guard Hall in the Thunder Forest. One of them was the Vice Hall Master, Qiao Cheng. Longao was very afraid of Gu Bai. No matter what, Gu Bai was still the Hall Master of the National Guard Hall. He was also a transformation realm martial artist. If he kept thinking about him, he would be in big trouble. "Brother Long, I finally found you." Hearing someone call him, Longao turned around and happily said, "Quangao, why are you here?" The person who came was none other than Quangao, one of Longao's only friends. "Let's go. I have something to tell you." "Okay." Longao was very curious. He did not know why Domineering Blade was looking for him. Following which, the 2 of them found a secluded restaurant and ordered a table full of dishes. After drinking a few cups, they started chatting. Domineering Pride, "Why are you looking for me?" He nodded and said arrogantly, "Brother Long, I didn't expect you to be ranked 70th on the 100 battle ranking. You're now famous in Tianju." Longao smiled and did not say anything. After all, in his opinion, 70th place on the 100 battle ranking list was not a big deal. It was not the 7th place on the 100 battle ranking list or even the 1st place. "Brother Long, let's get down to business. This time, I came to find you for 3 things." "What 3 things?" "Brother Long, the first thing I want to tell you is that your family is safe and sound. It would be a lie to say that he was not moved. After all, Domineering Blade was only a friend if he could tell him that he was safe." Longao did not speak. Everything was in silence. "The second thing is that you are now 70th on the 100 battle ranking list, so you have to be careful everywhere. Not only do people want to challenge you and take your place on the 100 battle ranking list, but even those who are ranked in the top will also challenge you." He seemed to be a little surprised. Longao could not understand. Some people wanted to challenge him for a place on the 100 battle ranking list, but why would those who were ranked high on the 100 battle ranking list also want to challenge him? Domineering Pride, why is that? "Brother Long, your story has spread throughout the entire Tianju. From a genius to a good-for-nothing, you persevered for 10 years and finally rose up. In just a few months, you have reached the 70th place of the 100 battle ranking. How many people in the entire Tianju can achieve this?" Domineering Pride, get to the point. Longao did not want to listen to flattery. Brother Long, because of your strong rise and the fact that you are ranked 70th on the 100 battle ranking list, those who are ranked higher than you want to challenge you and defeat you to show off their strength. So that was it. Longao was not worried at all. He said, I will deal with whatever comes my way. No matter who wants to challenge me, I will wait. Domineering pride was not surprised at all, because he knew Longao's character very well. Otherwise, Longao could not have successfully occupied 70th on the 100 battle ranking list in just a few months. Brother Long, the third thing is that I have received reliable news. The Long family of the 5th level in Starcloud City said that you entered the Dragon Valley without permission and were recognized by the Dragon Egg to become a Dragon Warrior, so... Dragon Warrior? Hearing Domineering Pride's words, Longao was shocked. He was not a fool. Of course, he knew that this was not a joke. Entering the Dragon Valley without permission, being recognized by the Dragon Egg, and becoming a Dragon Warrior meant something. The Long family of the 5th level in Starcloud City. Longao immediately understood the intentions of the 5th level Long family. Previously, he and Long Ming had obtained the Dragon Egg at the same time, but Long Ming and the Fire Dragon were both killed by him. How could the 5th level Long family and Long Ying be willing to accept this? But with his current strength and identity, Long Ying knew that it was impossible for him to kill him. In that case, he could only reveal that he was a Dragon Warrior. Then, he would not need to do anything. The higher level Long family would find trouble with him. Long family in the Dragon Valley had a clear rule. Only the 3rd level and above of the Long family could enter the Dragon Valley to choose a partner and become a Dragon Warrior. In other words, if the Long family below the 3rd level entered the Dragon Valley without permission, they would be killed by the Long family. No one was an exception. So the intention of the Long family in Starcloud City was clear. Brother Long, I should not ask about this, but I still want to ask. Are you really a Dragon Warrior? Since things had come to this point, Longao did not continue to hide it. He nodded and said, I entered the Dragon Valley by accident and was recognized by the Dragon Egg to become a Dragon Warrior. Hearing the confirmation, Kwong-ao was shocked. Of course, Kwong-ao knew what being a Dragon Warrior meant. He said, Brother Long, the Long family is one of the strongest forces in the Sky Martial continent. I believe you know the rules better than me. This matter has already spread. Whether it is true or not, I believe the Long family will come to find you. Brother Long, you will be in big trouble. There was no need for Kwong-ao to remind him. Longao knew what it meant if the Long family found out that he had become a Dragon Warrior. Endless anger and killing, there was no doubt about it. Longao knew that the Long family would not care about anything. No matter what, the Long family was one of the strongest forces in the Sky Martial continent. Even the 6 great sects in the Sky region could not resist the Long family. What a ruthless 5th level Long family and Long Ying. However, Longao knew that Long Ming and Hua Long had already been killed by him. Even if he revealed that Long Ming was a Dragon Warrior, there would be no evidence. He believed that the Long family would not believe him. Since that was the case, there was no point in him saying anything. Brother Long, what do you plan to do next? Longao finally knew why Kwong-ao was looking for him. It was worth it to make friends with such a person. Chapter 122. Counter soldiers with arms, water with an earth weir. Brother Long, aren't you worried at all? Shrugging, Longao smiled and said, what's there to worry about? Don't worry, I'll be fine. Letting out a deep sigh, how could Kwong-ao not know Longao's character? Because of this, Kwong-ao didn't say anything more. After thinking for a while, he asked, Brother Long, I heard that you've already represented the Thunder Empire in the war. That's right, the war will officially start tomorrow. Brother Long, I won't say anything more. Be careful. Nodding, Longao and Kwong-ao chatted and drank. Unknowingly, the next day was already bright. Kwong-ao didn't leave the Thunder City, but found an inn to wait for the result. As for Longao, he entered the Imperial Palace, because today was the start of the war. The war was the biggest competition between the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire. Both sides would use this opportunity to kill 20 people from the other side. The rules were the same as the Thunder Empire. Both sides would have 20 spirit tokens and kill each other. The side with the most spirit tokens would be the winner. The location of the war was a small forest specially built by the Thunder Empire. The area wasn't big, but it was more than enough for 40 people. No outsiders were allowed to watch the war, but 3 days later, the Thunder Empire would announce the result. For 3 whole years, the Fire Empire had been the winner, while the Thunder Empire had been defeated. Moreover, the Thunder Empire had been the loser 3 times, and all 20 of their members were killed. In the 3 wars, the Thunder Empire had lost a total of 60 Unification Realm warriors. To the Thunder Empire, this was undoubtedly a heavy loss. If this situation continued, the Thunder Empire would be in a passive position, and they would lose a lot of experts. It would be difficult for them to win against the Fire Empire. Fire Empire, Thunder Empire. The 40 participants from both sides all entered the Thunder battlefield and split up. 2 hours later, there would be a massacre to steal each other's spirit tokens. Jiubai, can't we let Longao go? No. This kid's talent and potential are very strong. I believe that in a few years, our empire will have another expert. Why do we have to do this? As the emperor of the Thunder Empire, Zhao Mang thought much more than Jiubai, especially for a genius disciple like Longao. Jiubai's face filled with killing intent. Your Majesty, I have to answer to the National Guard Hall. Even Emperor Zhao Mang had no choice but to accept the words National Guard Hall, even if he was extremely unhappy about it. Scarlet Fire Town. The current Crimson Fire Town was already an independent town that didn't belong to any city or kingdom. Even so, the surrounding towns, even big cities like the Thundercloud City, did not dare to provoke the Scarlet Fire Town. The reason was simple, because the Scarlet Fire Town had the Long family. Strictly speaking, it was because the Scarlet Fire Town had Longao. Long Yi's expression was extremely solemn as he said, "Father, the Long family of Starcloud City has already spread the news of Longao obtaining the dragon egg. This matter has already spread throughout the entire Tianju. I believe that not long after, the entire 9 provinces will know about it. At that time, it will definitely alarm the Long family of rank 3 and above." As Longao's father, Long Yi was very worried about his son's safety. The strength and background of a 3rd rank Long clan was obvious. Not to mention that they were just a 6th rank 9th rank clan. Even if they were a 4th rank clan, once such a thing happened, they would suffer a disaster. Long Yi could imagine what kind of danger his son would be in if this news spread to the Long family above rank 3. Star Cloud City. Long Yi hated the Long family of Star Cloud City, but he was powerless. No matter what, with the current strength of the Long family, they were no match for the Long family of Star Cloud City. Long Haosha waved his hand and said, "You don't have to worry about this. I can tell you for sure that the Long family above rank 3 will not believe this." "Father, why is that?" Long Yi was very confused, but he would definitely choose to believe his father. "It's very simple. The Long family above rank 3 will not believe that anyone can enter the Dragon Valley. According to legend, the entrance of the Dragon Valley in Tianwu continent is guarded by the rank 1 Long family. Not to mention others, even the disciples of the rank 2 and rank 3 Long family cannot enter casually. So that's how it is. Therefore, the Long family above rank 3 will not believe this at all. I'm just worried about what will happen to Aoa now that the Long family of Starcloud City is so shameless." Long Yi nodded in agreement and said, "The Long family of Starcloud City is a rank 5 Long family. If they want to deal with Aoa, Aoa will be in danger." "Father, what should we do now?" "I've already thought about it. Aoa's strong rise recently has offended too many people. If this continues, it will be very troublesome." After thinking for a while, Long Haosha continued, "Immediately send a message to Aoa. No matter what happens, you must summon Aoa back." "Got it." Long Yi obviously knew the seriousness of the matter. He did not dare to be careless and immediately turned to leave. Thunder Royal Family, in a small forest behind the mountain. Long Ao's group of 20 had just entered the Thunder battlefield when they were immediately looked down upon and isolated. The Thunder royal family, Long family, Jiang family, and Duanmu family, a total of 19 people, all distanced themselves from Longao and coldly looked at the youth in front of them. Fusion martial artist. Almost all 19 people knew about Longao's matters. But even so, in their eyes, Longao was not even a fart. This was not only in terms of strength, but also in terms of status. Both sides were not on the same level. Longao, who do you think you are? With just you, do you think we can rely on you? *CK. I was wondering why the royal family would choose a piece of trash to participate in the war between the two countries. Now I finally know that trash knows how to flatter. Admirable, admirable. Ha ha ha, flatter? You are all wrong. Flattering is actually a skill. Hearing everyone's mocking words, Longao only sneered and suddenly said, "It doesn't matter if I am trash, but some people are even worse than trash. Otherwise, the Thunder Empire would have lost a total of 3 wars between the two countries. Sigh, I really feel bad for the Thunder Empire. I really want to ask, what's the point of the Thunder Empire raising trash like you?" Among the 19 people, Fire Wolf, who had the highest strength and status, was enraged. He said furiously, "Longao, who do you think you are? How dare you say that to us? Are you courting death? Courting death? Ha ha ha, Longao, you don't have to be like this. Do you mean that in this war between the two countries, you will live to be the final victor?" Longao said confidently, "That's right. I am stronger than some trash who are even worse than trash. So, in this war between the two countries, I will live to be the final victor. What if you can't do it? What if I can do it?" Longao's face was filled with contempt, and his voice was filled with disdain. Chapter 123. Hearing Longao's words, everyone burst into laughter. It was as if they had heard the funniest joke in the world. "Longao, let's make a bet. Do you dare?" Huolang's face was full of ridicule. In his opinion, a fusion realm cultivator would be killed in a single move in this kind of battle. Borrowing a knife to kill. The 19 of them knew that no matter what, Longao was still the representative of the Thunder Empire. If they killed him, they would be letting down the empire. It was because of this that Huolang thought of this move. "Sure, but I'm afraid you won't dare. Alright, if you lose this battle between the two empires and come back alive, kneel in front of us and tell the world that you're trash." "What if I win?" "You'll win." Waving his hand to stop the people behind him, Huolang said with a sinister smile, "If you win, the 19 of us will also kneel in front of you and tell the world that we're trash. How about it? Deal? As an author, I hope that you can fulfill the bet at that time." Without even thinking, Longao had already agreed. He turned around and quickly left. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared without a trace. "Boss, are we just going to let him go like this?" "Shut up. No matter what, he's still the representative of the Empire. We can't do it ourselves. But if the envoy of the Fire Empire kills him, it's none of our business." "Boss, what if he..." Before this person could finish, Huolang's body emitted a cold aura that suppressed the sky, scaring this person into shutting up immediately. A mere fusion realm cultivator thinks he's invincible just because he's a little lucky. I want to see how he can defeat the envoy of the Fire Empire. After leaving, Longao didn't take this matter to heart. In his opinion, the 19 of them were just stones. Although they were blocking his path, it wasn't a big deal. Actually, in Longao's heart, he did not hate the 19 people very much. No matter what, the 19 people were not so shameless as to join hands to deal with him. Just based on this point alone, the 19 people were still considered qualified warriors. Thunder Battlefield. The Thunder Empire's battlefield wasn't very large. It was because of this that Longao met the emissaries of the Flame Empire. He didn't know if he was lucky or not, but the first person he met was Ice Spirit, who ranked in the top 5 among the 20 emissaries of the Flame Empire. She was a warrior at the Unification Realm and ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking list in Tianju. The war between the two countries. The Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire had made it clear that once they entered the battlefield, they had to scatter and not engage in a chaotic battle. The 40 people from the Fire Empire and Thunder Empire who were participating in the battle of the two empires were all Unification Realm martial artists. Due to the arrogance of experts, everyone was scattered. Even if they met, they would not fight with more people. Longao was very satisfied with the agreement between the two countries and the pride of the cultivators. Longao! Longao! Longao was surprised when he heard the other party call out his name. However, after giving it some thought, he understood. After all, before entering the battlefield, both sides must have learned about the other side's 20 members. Even he was no exception. Bing Po, the super genius of the Bing family of the Fire Empire, had reached the Unification Realm at the age of 28 and was ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking in Tianju. Longao had never figured out the 100 battle ranking. The 100 battle ranking. There were 900 battle rankings in the Tianwu continent. Every province had 100 battle ranking. Young martial artists under the age of 40 could enter the 100 battle ranking. However, those who entered the 100 battle ranking were all talented people. Bing Po was only a disciple of the Bing family of the Fire Empire, but she could be ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking. What about the disciples of the 6 sects? Longao knew very well that the 6 sects were above the 2 empires. He believed that the disciples of the 6 sects were far stronger than those of the 2 empires and countless kingdoms. In that case, why were there no disciples of the 6 sects on the 100 battle ranking? In the end, Longao finally knew that the disciples of the 6 sects did not participate in the 100 battle ranking at all. The 6 sects were the supreme existence in the Tianju. There were many talented disciples in the 6 sects, and the cultivation resources they received were far more than those of the secular world. Therefore, the disciples of the 6 sects did not pursue the 100 battle ranking, but another ranking, the Fengyun list. There were 900 battle rankings in the 9 prefectures. There were also 900 battle rankings in the 9 prefectures. The Fengyun list was the same as the 100 battle ranking, but there were some differences. The disciples of the 6 sects could not pursue the 100 battle ranking, but everyone could pursue the Fengyun list, even the secular disciples. That was to say, if someone entered the top 10 of the 100 battle ranking, he would automatically enter the Fengyun list. Once a secular disciple entered the Fengyun list, he would immediately become the target of the 6 sects. Are you Bing Po, a disciple of the Bing family of the Fire Empire? Longao had a general understanding of the 20 emissaries of the Flame Empire, especially 2 of them. Ice Spirit was one of them. She was only 28 years old, but she was already in the top 20 of the 100 battle ranking. Longao, the top genius of the Red Fire Town 10 years ago, failed to break through the realm and was reduced from a genius to a waste. For 10 years, he was ridiculed, and looked down upon, but he still persisted and did not give up. For some unknown reason, he suddenly rose and attacked aggressively. Longao, I really want to know, why did you suddenly succeed after 10 years of failure? Ice Spirit was not very beautiful. From a distance, she looked like a man with a crew cut and a tall and burly figure. You don't need to care about my business. If you want to fight, we will fight. If not, you can leave. It was undeniable that Longao was really domineering. Even if his opponent was a warrior of the Consolidation Realm, a figure in the top 20 of the 100 battle ranking, he was still fearless. Nodding with appreciation, Ice Spirit said coldly, you and I have different masters. Since we have chosen to represent our respective empires, we will fight. But Longao, if I win, I want to be friends with you. But if you win, you can not only replace my position in the 100 battle ranking, but also choose to be friends with me. Longao was very surprised by Ice Spirit's words. What an interesting woman. Because of this, Longao had a good impression of this genius woman in front of him. Nodding, Longao said, you and I will fight. No matter who wins or loses, I will definitely be friends with you. Please. Both Ice Spirit and Longao belonged to the ranks of real warriors. No matter how much appreciation they had for each other, once the fight started, their fighting intent instantly spread out. In mid-air, they fiercely collided with each other. Sparks flew in all directions. Longao, In order to avoid hurting each other, let's fight barehanded. What do you think? No problem. In this way, the two stared at each other. In the next second, their bodies moved at the same time. Their speed was incomparably fast. In the blink of an eye, the two were already fighting. In the blink of an eye, they had already fought for 3 rounds. There was no clear winner. Chapter 124. 3 moves, a draw. Ice Spirit was very surprised because she never thought that Longao would be able to withstand 3 of her moves. As soon as she entered the Thunder Imperial family, Ice Spirit learned everything about the 20 emissaries of the Thunder Empire. Among them, she was most interested in Longao. Everything that happened on Longao's body was truly somewhat inconceivable. But even so, Ice Spirit was still confident that she could defeat her opponent easily with her strength. 3 moves was a little too much. Ice Spirit stopped underestimating him. She didn't dare to be careless and used the Ice Spirit meteorite explosion. As a super powerful martial technique of the Ice family, the icicles exploded immediately. As for Longao, he did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. No matter what, the opponent was a Consolidation Realm warrior and a super powerful figure ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking. Once he relaxed a little, he believed that he would be defeated. The 8 styles of blood drinking, the first style, 9 consecutive strikes of the underworld, the second style, heart-devouring ice, and the third style, sea of flames, were all superimposed in an instant. The powerful fist strength was like the waves of the sea, each stronger than the last. It rolled and pressed down overwhelmingly. Bang! Both of their fists collided. Both of them groaned at the same time and retreated. Both of them retreated 10 steps before they stopped abruptly. This time, Ice Spirit was completely shocked. As a Consolidation Realm warrior and ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking, she actually fought to a draw with a Consolidation Realm warrior. If she didn't experience it herself, she wouldn't believe it even if she was beaten to death. Longao, although I don't want to admit it, I have to admit that your strength is really strong. I can say that as long as your cultivation can enter the Consolidation Realm, you can easily dominate the Primordial Realm. Dominate the Primordial Realm, easy. As a Consolidation Realm warrior and ranked 20th on the 100 battle ranking, Ice Spirit's words carried a lot of weight. Longao, let's end this quickly. As long as you can use my Ice Spirit 10,000 waves, it's my loss. Longao nodded. Of course, he knew what Ice Spirit meant. No matter what, they were now in the middle of the battle for supremacy. If the battle dragged on and they encountered other martial artists, no matter who they were, it would be very troublesome. The Ice Soul 10,000 heavy waves was the highest level martial skill of the Bing clan. It was above the Ice Soul martial skill and could be considered the strongest martial skill that the Ice Soul could use. Ice Spirit knew very well that if she couldn't defeat her opponent with her Ice Spirit 9 strikes, then it would be obvious who would win this battle. Just like that, the two of them started moving again. The Ice Spirit's 9 consecutive strikes gathered all the energy in her body into her hands. Each palm was stronger than the last. With the 9 palms stacked together, the power kept increasing. It was the same principle as Longao's Yellow Spring's 9 consecutive strikes. Longao didn't hold back either. He knew very well that if he didn't use his full strength, it would be disrespectful to Ice Spirit. Not only was it disrespectful to a cultivator, but it was also disrespectful to a friend. It was precisely because of this that Longao had already used the Soul Suppressing Seal before making his move. The Soul Suppressing Seal, which never missed, silently entered Ice Spirit's body and started to corrode her soul. Greatly shocked, the Ice Spirit's Ice Spirit 9 consecutive strikes was forcefully interrupted and its power was directly reduced by half. Seizing this rare opportunity, Longao's body shot out from the left at an unbelievable angle. Before he arrived, the terrifying fist energy arrived first. However, Longao's fists stopped when they were a few centimeters away from Ice Spirit. He retracted his fists and retreated. The winner of this battle had already been decided. Ice Spirit, who had forcefully removed the energy in her body, seemed to be unable to accept this fact. However, she still nodded and said, Longao, you have one. However, I still want to be friends with you. Are you willing? No problem. They extended their hands and shook hands. However, at this moment, footsteps came from not far away. The two of them nodded at the same time and walked to the right at the same time. As soon as the two of them disappeared, a middle-aged man with a terrifying appearance walked over. Seeing this person, Longao seemed to be surprised. This person was none other than Long Jing, who Long Yili had asked him to kill. He was a Unification Realm warrior, one of the experts of the Long family and one of the envoys of the Thunder Empire. No matter if it was the 20 people from the Fire Empire or the Thunder Empire, they all acted alone. After all, if they obtained more soul tokens, they could become famous in both empires and even the entire Tianju. Brother Long, you know this person? Long Ao nodded. He had a good impression of Ice Spirit and told her about what had happened between him and Long Yili. After listening, Ice Spirit smiled and said, killing a Unification Realm warrior for a 10,000-year bloodlingji. Brother Long, you have suffered a great loss. Long Ao only smiled and didn't say anything. Brother Long, forgive me for being blunt, but under these circumstances, it seems inappropriate for you to kill Long Jing. Nodding, Long Ao said, I already know Long Jing's character, so I will enforce justice on behalf of the heavens. If the Thunder Empire and the Long family pursue this matter, what will you do? Before Long Ao could speak, Ice Spirit continued, Brother Long, how about I kill this person for you? That won't do. Brother Long, listen to me first. Between friends, don't be so calculative unless you don't treat me as a friend. Looking deeply at Ice Spirit beside him, Long Ao finally nodded. In fact, it was indeed inappropriate for him to do this. At that time, he had already understood Long Jing. If this person was good, he would have returned the 10,000-year bloodlingji to Long Yili. However, the result was that Long Jing was indeed not a good person. Him doing this could be considered enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens. Before Long Ao could react, Ice Spirit's body had already scurried out. Who? Seeing the woman who suddenly appeared, Long Jing was startled at first, but then he sneered, so it's Miss Ice Spirit. It seems that my luck is not bad this time. Long Jing, cut the crap. Do you want to kill yourself or do you want me to do it? Ha ha ha, hearing Ice Spirit's words, Long Jing suddenly laughed as if he had heard the funniest thing in the world. My plucking yin to replenish yang has not been used for a long time. Ice Spirit, your strength is not bad. If I pluck your yin, my strength may increase greatly. Ice Spirit, if you are willing to give it to me, I can spare your life. Despicable. Despicable? Long Jing was the most sinister person in the Long family. He cultivated the plucking yin to replenish yang technique, which was extremely vicious. In fact, this kind of martial skill was used to benefit others and oneself. Once it was used wrongly, it would become harming others to benefit oneself. Ice Spirit, a wise man submits to circumstances. I hope you can be smart. Actually, don't you women like this kind of thing? Don't worry, I will make you very comfortable. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Shameless, despicable. Ice Spirit's body instantly rushed out. Her face was extremely gloomy and ugly. After all, as a genius disciple of the Bing family, when had she ever been talked to like this? Long Jing was already over 40 years old. Therefore, even if his cultivation had broken through to the consolidation realm, he could not enter the 100 battle ranking. However, this did not mean that Long Jing's strength was not strong. Otherwise, he would not be so confident. Chapter 125. Ice Spirit couldn't take it anymore. She had seen shameless people before, but she had never seen someone so shameless. Long Jing wasn't worried at all. He seemed to be confident that everything was under his control. In the blink of an eye, the two collided. Perhaps it was due to carelessness or anger, but Ice Spirit was already injured. Long Ao was also shocked. He did not continue to hide. With a stride, he had already rushed out. Before he arrived, his terrifying aura had already covered the sky and suppressed the earth. Long Jing, who originally thought that he had succeeded and was feeling complacent, had a shocked expression. For a moment, he could not react. The saber light that Longao sent out brushed past his shoulder. If he had not dodged in time, perhaps just this saber strike would have been enough to take his life. When Longjing saw the other party clearly, his face was extremely gloomy. Longao, you're helping the Fire Empire? You're too presumptuous. Longjing didn't expect that Longao, the envoy of the Thunder Empire, would help Ice Spirit at this time. Did this guy betray them? A human's appearance is as shameless as a beast. Longjing, scum like you deserve to be punished. Longao, you're courting death. Ignoring Longjing, Longao's power had already entered Ice Soul's body. In just a few seconds, Ice Soul had already recovered. At this time, Longao also heaved a sigh of relief. Longao, I was careless just now. Without giving Ice Spirit a chance to continue, Longao said, leave this to me. I'll avenge you. The Ice Soul took a deep look at him and nodded in the end. Be careful. Turning around, Longao looked at Longjing coldly and suddenly said, Longjing, you dare to hurt my friend. Die. You. Longjing's face was filled with contempt and disdain. Longjing thought that he was a Unification Realm warrior, but what about the other party? He was just a Fusion Realm warrior. Was a Fusion Realm warrior qualified to fight with a Unification Realm warrior? That's right. Longjing thought that the other party wasn't qualified to fight with him. Die. Longao was too lazy to continue talking nonsense, and his body had already rushed out. At the same time as the soul-subduing seal was used, the wild draw blade in his hand had already fiercely chopped out. The 8 styles of blood drinking, the first style, Yellow Spring 9 consecutive strikes, the second style, Heart-devouring ice, the third style, Raging Flame Sea, 3 styles superimposed. Unable to invade. Just as the soul-suppressing seal began to invade Longjing's body, Longao discovered in surprise that his soul-suppressing seal was unable to invade the other party's body at all. The soul-suppressing seal was ineffective. Longao knew very well that without the help of the soul-suppressing seal, it would be extremely difficult for him to kill a Unification Realm warrior with his current strength. Longao was not a fool. Although Longjing had played a little trick and won against Ice Spirit in one move, from another perspective, it also showed that Longjing's strength far surpassed Ice Spirit. It was impossible for a fusion warrior to play tricks even if he wanted to. The wild draw blade, one slash after another, continuous and endless. With a sneer, Longjing was full of confidence. It seemed very easy for him to counter every move. However, as the battle continued to escalate, Longjing also began to slowly discover that the other party's strength had exceeded his understanding. He gradually began to go all out, and there were a few times when he was almost killed. A dragon's roar sounded. Just as Longjing was going all out, Long Qiong's huge body had already appeared, and a dragon's roar resounded through the world. Everyone who was fighting or looking for each other all raised their heads and looked in the same direction. Everyone's expression was abnormally shocked. After all, everyone knew very well what the dragon's roar meant. The most shocked were Ice Spirit and Longjing. Both Ice Spirit and Longjing knew very well what it meant for Longao to have a dragon as a companion. Dragon warrior, the strongest existence in the Long family. However, to become a dragon warrior was not an easy task. At the very least, one had to be a disciple of a third-rank family. Just this point alone was enough to exclude many people. Longao, you can't be a dragon warrior. It's impossible. Longjing was so shocked that he was almost killed. While dodging, he continued to roar crazily. This was what it meant to be infuriated. The other party was just a low-level disciple of the Long family, but he had already become a dragon warrior. What about him? Humans were like this. Once their state of mind changed, their fighting strength would be greatly reduced. It was precisely because of this that Longao did not give up on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Long Qiong's strength far surpassed Longao's. Just imagine, if Longao and Long Qiong were to join forces, how powerful would they be? After the dragon's roar, Long Qiong also launched his most ferocious attack on Longjing. Clenching her fists tightly, Ice Spirit looked at the young man who was forcing Longjing to retreat step by step. Her heart was incomparably shocked. Now, she seemed to have understood why Longao would suddenly rise. Dragon warrior, the strongest existence in the Long family. Longao and Longchong did not hold back at all. One on the left and one on the right, they attacked left and right. Just like this, Longjing was forced to retreat. Even so, he was still injured by Longao and Longchong's attacks. He could be killed at any time. The more he fought, the more his state of mind became. Longjing naturally did not dare to continue staying. Longao, if you let me go this time, I'll teach you the gathering yin replenishing yang technique. How about it? Teach your sister. Longao did not even bother to cultivate such an evil technique. Moreover, he had already decided to kill this person. It was precisely because of this that Longao did not hold back at all. Instead, the more he fought, the more vicious he became. Especially with the help of Longchong, one man and one dragon could be said to be very fierce. Every move was vicious and fatal. Longao. Without giving Longjing any chance to speak, Longao and Longchong used their most powerful joint attack. Longjing's mind was already in a mess. It was impossible for him to resist the joint attack of Longao and Longchong. Poochie. After being attacked by Longao and Longchong, Longjing's body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Longao of course would not miss this opportunity. His body rushed up and came to Longjing's corpse. He immediately took out the soul order from Longjing's body. Just as he was about to seize Longjing's soul, Longao was shocked. He did not even bother to seize it. He turned around and rushed out with Ice Spirit. Just as the two of them left, many figures shot out from all directions. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 people had all arrived by Longjing's side. Among them was Hualang. Looking at the corpse on the ground, Hualang's expression was unsightly to the extreme. They had just entered the battlefield, and it had not even been 2 hours since they started, yet they had already lost a person. The situation of the battle seemed to be somewhat disadvantageous for them. Long roar. I did not expect the Fire Empire to have a dragon martial artist. Chapter 126. Hualang's meaning was clear. Everyone knew what a martial artist of the Dragon Realm meant. Because of this, the envoy from the Thunder Empire did not expect that the Fire Empire would send a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. Martial artist of the Dragon Realm? The people from the Fire Empire looked at each other. One of them said, if our Fire Empire had a martial artist of the Dragon Realm, we would have dominated Tianju long ago. HMPH Hualang snorted. Of course, he did not believe the other party's words. Just like that, both sides stared at each other. Suddenly, both sides started a huge battle royal. This was the first time such a battle royal had happened in the countless battles between the two empires. At a certain place in the battlegrounds. Brother Long, I did not expect you to be a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. Ice Spirit found it hard to believe that Longao was a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. After all, martial artists of the Dragon Realm could only be found in the Dragon Realm. But what about Longao's family? It was only a rank 6 Long family. Since things had already reached this point, Longao did not continue to hide it. That's right, I am a martial artist of the Dragon Realm. But this cannot be leaked. Ice Spirit was not a fool. She immediately understood the reason. It seemed that Longao's dragon companion was a little strange. Longao did not continue speaking. Ice Spirit did not ask further either. She knew what to ask and what not to ask. Ice Spirit, thank you very much. There's no need to be so polite between friends. Ice Soul, you're actually colluding with the Thunder Empire? You're really something. At this time, a youth walked out from behind a tree. He was around 27 or 28 years old. His face was cold and he had a full beard. Seeing the sudden appearance of the cold-looking young man, the Ice Soul's expression changed. She said, Yi Yidao, don't slander me. I only became friends with Brother Long. As for the other people from the Thunder Empire, I will still kill them if I see them. Yi Yidao? Longao was familiar with the name Yi Yidao. Yi Yidao was ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking. He was at the peak of the consolidation realm. Longao knew that Yi Yidao was the strongest of the 20 unification realm martial artists that the Flame Empire had sent out. Ha ha ha, Ice Spirit, you don't need to quibble here. If it were any other time, it wouldn't be a problem for you to make friends with anyone. But now, you've betrayed the Fire Empire and you still dare to quibble here. Shaking his head, Yi Yidao's meaning was very clear. You are a traitor, and there is no point in quibbling. Yi Yidao? It's none of your business whether I'm friends with Ice Spirit or not. Are you Longao? So what if I am? So what if I'm not? Yi Yidao didn't mind. The corner of his mouth curled up into a cold smile as he said, Longao, Ice Spirit, both of you deserve to die. However, I will give you a chance. Come at me together. Yi Yidao exuded strong confidence. He was at the peak of the consolidation realm and ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking. Yi Yidao's strength was completely above Long Jing's. It was obvious that Ice Spirit was really angry. Just as she was about to attack, she was stopped by Longao. Waving his hand, Longao's face was full of contempt as he said, Yi Yidao, I thought you were a real warrior since you are ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking. But now, it seems that you are really a sad person. How could Yi Yidao, who had always been high and mighty, stand being looked down upon by a little fusion warrior? With a shout, Yi Yidao's body had already jumped out. Peak of the consolidation realm and ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking. Longao could completely imagine how strong Yi Yidao was. Because of this, Longao didn't have the slightest bit of carelessness and didn't join forces with Ice Spirit. This was a battle between warriors. If it was 2 against 1, even if Longao won, he wouldn't feel comfortable in his heart. In the blink of an eye, the two had already collided fiercely. The soul-suppressing seal had been quietly used. But what made Longao feel inconceivable was that before the soul-suppressing seal could enter the opponent's body, it was eroded back by an even more terrifying and strange force. Before Longao could react, this force had already eroded into his body and began to fiercely erode his soul. Shocked, he didn't dare to be careless. He divided the force into 2. One force began to resist the eroding force, and the other force began to resist Yi Yidao's attack. All along, Longao had thought that the soul-suppressing seal he possessed was the strongest martial skill to erode the soul. But now, it seemed that there was no limit to how strong one could be. Longao, you really can't compare to your reputation. You are just SOSO. Longao didn't relax at all. His face turned cold, and finally, his hands began to form seals quickly. In an instant, more than 100 seals were formed. Dark Burning Seal, the second seal of the Destruction Seal's 18 seals. The Destruction Seal had a total of 18 seals. Long Fu had only taught Longao the first 4 seals. They were the Soul-Suppressing Seal, Dark Burning Seal, Sky-Burying Seal, and Doomsday Seal. The Soul-Suppressing Seal specialized in eroding the soul. As for the Dark Burning Seal, it specialized in burning the soul, as if one had fallen into hell. It could be said that the Dark Burning Seal was an existence above the Soul-Suppressing Seal. Longao had been cultivating the Dark Burning Seal, but he hadn't reached the small success stage yet. Furthermore, the Dark Burning Seal required a large amount of soul power. According to his current strength, he could barely use the Dark Burning Seal, but he had to be 100% careful. Otherwise, once he suffered a backlash, it wouldn't be the soul of others that was burned, but his own soul. It was because of this that Longao wouldn't easily use the Dark Burning Seal unless it was a last resort. The Dark Burning Seal was like the waves of the sea, rolling over. The Dark Burning Seal was completely different from the Soul-Suppressing Seal. The Soul-Suppressing Seal was silent, while the Dark Burning Seal was a powerful attack. Yi Yidao, who was originally full of confidence, suddenly had a change in expression. Shock was written all over his face. Before he could react, the Dark Burning Seal had already fiercely crashed into Yi Yidao's body and began to frantically burn Yi Yidao's soul. Not only that, Longao not only used the Dark Burning Seal, he also used the Soul-Suppressing Seal, silently invading Yi Yidao's body. The Dark Burning Seal and the Soul-Suppressing Seal attacked together. Not only did it erode the soul, it also burned the soul. In just an instant, Yi Yidao's soul felt as if it had entered hell. The soul-suppressing seal and the dark-burning seal were too powerful. Yi Yidao didn't have the slightest bit of energy to resist Longao's continuous attacks. He wholeheartedly resisted the terrifying and strange power that was constantly eroding his soul. Holding the wild blood-drinking saber, Longao didn't show any mercy. He raised his saber and slashed down. 8 forms of blood drinking. The first form, Yellow Spring's 9 consecutive strikes. The second form, Heart-devouring ice. The third form, Sea of raging flames. The 3 forms stacked together, a shocking saber light had already ruthlessly slashed down. Chapter 127. Shocking Blade Aura. Catcher. Yi Yidao was instantly killed by the shocking blade aura. Longao did not hesitate. Not only did he store the soul into the dragon seal space, he even sent the corpse into the dragon seal space. Master, with your current strength, the 3 soul slaves are of little help to you. Longao was very puzzled. He did not know what Long Fu meant. Master, I am preparing to merge the 3 soul slaves and this soul with the corpse. I believe that the refined corpse slave will be able to reach the transformation realm. Hearing this, Longao was delighted. He clearly knew what it meant to reach the transformation realm. Longao was naturally clear of the meaning behind Long Fu's actions. It was nothing more than wanting to help him refine a powerful corpse slave so that he could oversee the Long family. Longao was even more clear that with his current strength, the 3 soul slaves were indeed useless. If he continued to keep them, it would be a waste. In that case, he might as well merge with Yi Yidao's corpse and refine a transformed corpse slave. Long Fu, everything depends on you. Master, rest assured. The moment he spoke to Long Fu, several figures had already rushed out. Among them were the envoys of the Flame Empire and the Thunder Empire. They looked at the corpse that had just disappeared and their faces were filled with shock. Longao, hand over Yi Yidao's corpse. Completely ignoring the words of the envoys of the Flame Empire, Longao coldly snorted and said, I fought with him. Since I lost, I have to accept it. The faces of the envoys of the Flame Empire were gloomy to the extreme. If it was before, they would not hesitate to attack. But now, even the strongest Yi Yidao was killed. Who among the 40 people in the battle of hegemony between the 2 countries could defeat this person? A fusion warrior killed Yi Yidao? Yi Yidao was an extraordinary figure ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking. He was a peak consolidation realm warrior. Not to mention a mere fusion warrior, even a consolidation realm warrior would not be able to kill Yi Yidao. It was precisely because of this that the people from the Flame Empire could only be angry, but they didn't dare to say anything. They all glared at Longao, and in the end, they all left. Fire Wolf was also shocked to the extreme because Longao had killed Yi Yidao and entered the 11th place of the 100 battle ranking. What kind of concept was this? A fusion warrior ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking list, which was unprecedented and would never happen again. Longao. Waving his hand, Longao did not give Fire Wolf a chance to speak. Instead, he said coldly, Fire Wolf, don't provoke me. Otherwise, even if you are an envoy of the Thunder Empire, I will still kill you. If Longao dared to say this in the past, he would definitely be mocked and scoffed at by the crowd. But in the current situation, who would dare to say anything? A lunatic who could even kill Yi Yidao. Who would dare to provoke him? Fire Wolf took a deep look at him, turned around, and left with everyone. Until now, Ice Spirit still hadn't reacted. She swallowed her saliva fiercely and said excitedly, Brother Long, congratulations on entering the 11th place of the 100 battle ranking list. Brother Long, you really hide your strength. Not only are you a dragon warrior, but your strength alone is enough to look down on primordial realm warriors. I can already say that you can already be called the number 1 primordial realm warrior. Longao just smiled and did not say anything. Longao was very clear in his heart that in terms of strength alone, it was impossible for him to kill Yi Yidao. Even Long Jing was no match for him. However, if he had the help of Long Qiong, the destruction seal, and the blood-drinking saber art, it was possible for him to kill Yi Yidao, let alone Long Jing. "Brother Long, I have a question to ask you." Nodding, Longao said, "Go ahead." "Brother Long, if I'm not wrong, you are not more than 20 years old. In that case, why is your hair white hair, not more than 20 years old? Such a thing was very strange." Longao did not think much about his white hair. As for what happened in the past, he did not hide anything and roughly told her. After hearing this, Ice Spirit did not continue to ask, but her eyes revealed a strange look. How many men in the world could be so infatuated with such a man? "Brother Long, with all due respect, with your current strength, even if you don't use your companions, you can still defeat Primordial Realm warriors. So later, I will call everyone to withdraw from the 2 hegemony battles. This time, the Thunder Empire won." Waving his hand, Longao said, "Ice Spirit, I will not participate in the following hegemony battles. So, the Fire Empire and the Thunder Empire will decide who wins." "Longao, you don't have to do this. I have made up my mind. I will cultivate now. After 3 days, no matter who wins, you and I will be friends." Taking a deep look, Ice Spirit nodded, said a few words, and turned to leave. After killing Yi Yidao, Longao was not prepared to continue fighting for the spirit token. The reason was very simple. For his friend Ice Spirit, he could be considered to have withdrawn from the hegemony battles. Not leaving the Thunder battlefield, Longao found a secluded place and quietly began to cultivate. Inferno Seal. The first time he used the Inferno Seal, Longao finally saw the power of the Inferno Seal. Relying on the power of the Inferno Seal, he could even kill a peak Consolidation Realm warrior. Just this point alone made Longao somewhat impatient. Burning Underworld Seal. Longao was very clear in his heart that the Burning Underworld Seal that he was currently using had yet to reach the large success stage. Once he cultivated it to its peak state, he would be able to kill a Unification Realm warrior in an instant. But one had to know that Longao's cultivation had just broken through to the Fusion Realm. If his cultivation could break through to the Consolidation Realm, then what realm would his strength reach? It was precisely because of this that Longao cultivated the Inferno Seal while cultivating. Unknowingly, 3 days had passed quietly. The hegemony battles between the 2 countries had ended. In the end, the Thunder Empire won. After all, Yi Yidao was killed. Among the 40 people, Fire Wolf could almost be called the king. It was precisely because of this that the Thunder Imperial family was extremely excited. A total of 12 people from the Fire Empire were killed and left dejectedly. In the main hall, Fire Wolf and the others did not dare to say anything. Although Longao was only in the Fusion Realm, he was able to kill Yi Yidao. Just this point alone, who would dare to provoke a killing god, a madman? Among them, the one who was most shocked was Jiyu Bai. This was because he never expected that Longao could kill Yi Yidao in the Fusion Realm and be ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking. What kind of concept was this? He thought that Longao would die on the battlefield, but now? It was precisely because of this that after knowing that Longao killed Yi Yidao, Zhao Mang immediately ordered to vigorously support the construction of the Scarlet Fire Town. Chapter 128. Longao, how about joining the Thunder National Guard Hall? Longao snorted in his heart. Of course, he knew that Jiyu Bai was hostile to him. If he joined the National Guard Hall, wouldn't he be asking for trouble? Your Majesty, I'm used to being free, so I want to continue being free. Although Longao didn't directly refuse, the meaning in his words was clear. It was precisely because of this that everyone was shocked when they heard Longao refuse on the spot. Zhao Mang forced a smile, nodded and said, "It's good to be free. Longao, I just received news from Chihua Town that your father is urgently summoning you back." Father is urgently summoning me back. He was puzzled because he knew that his father wouldn't be in a hurry to summon him back if there wasn't something important happening in the family. Because of this, Longao immediately left the Imperial family and headed towards Chihua Town. Thunder Imperial family, in the backyard pavilion. Brother Jiyu, Longao's talent and potential are there for all to see. He was able to kill Yi Yidao in the fusion realm and take his place in the 100 battle ranking. If we can make use of him, we may get a master. Jiyu Bai nodded. How could he not know what Zhao Mang meant? Your Majesty, I didn't expect Longao to be so powerful. If there are no accidents, I believe that with his current strength, he will be invincible among the innate experts. Zhao Mang was surprised. He had never heard Jiyu Bai praise anyone. It seemed that this person was indeed not simple. After thinking for a while, Jiyu Bai continued, Your Majesty, this person's talent is extraordinary. If we can't kill him, we must try our best to rope him in. If we can't let him develop, the consequences will be unimaginable. Chihua Town. Since the news of Longao killing Yi Yidao spread, the status of Chihua Town immediately rose. Even the Thunder Imperial family announced to the world that they would fully support the construction of Chihua Town. Ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking, Longao had become a famous figure in Tianzhu. For a moment, Longao's limelight even overshadowed everyone. Not to mention the Thunder Empire and countless kingdoms, even in the Flame Empire, Longao was a hot topic. Chihua Town, Long family. As soon as Longao stepped into the Long family, the entire Long family was in an uproar. One by one, they appeared in high spirits. Just as he returned to the Long family, the first good news that Longao received was that his grandfather, Long Haosha, and his big brother, Long Ying, had both broken through to the 100 scatter heaven. In other words, from this moment onwards, apart from Longao, the Long family already had 200 scatter heaven martial artists holding down the fort. Long family, main hall. I've already told you everything. What are you going to do? Grandpa, this matter only depends on the Nebula Dragon family's side of the story. I believe that the Long family won't believe it at all, so we don't have to worry at all. How could Longao not know the intentions of the Nebula Long family? However, he wasn't too worried. After all, the Long family wasn't a fool. They wouldn't go through so much trouble just because of the Nebula Long family's words. Longao was very confident about this. Long Haosha seemed to want to say something, but in the end, he only sighed deeply and didn't say anything. Grandpa, this time, you and Big Brother's cultivation has broken through to the 100 scatter heaven realm. You must continue to work hard. In a while, I'll help you refine spirit gathering pills and help you break through to the one-line heaven realm in one fell swoop. Without waiting for Long Haosha to say anything, Longao continued, Grandpa, Dad, I'm often not in the Long family, so it's inevitable that I have some enemies. Therefore, I'm preparing to leave behind a super expert for the family. I believe that with him holding down the fort, ordinary forces, even the Thunder Empire, wouldn't dare to provoke our Long family. Hearing this, whether it was Long Haosha or Long Yi, they were both surprised. Super expert. The two of them were very clear about Longao's current strength. To be able to be called a super expert by Longao, it was obvious how strong this person was. Longao smiled and summoned Yi Yidao's corpse from the dragon seal space. The 5 stages of transformation, from lowest to highest, are lightning tribulation, transformation, human king, earthly sovereign, and Tao ancestor. According to what Long Fu said, the current corpse is equivalent to a lightning tribulation realm martial artist. Because it's a corpse, it doesn't need to undergo lightning tribulation. When the corpse was summoned, a terrifying aura enveloped the entire Long family. If it wasn't for Longao stopping it in time, the powerful aura emitted by the corpse would be enough to crush everyone in the hall. Looking at the corpse that appeared in front of them, Long Haosha and Long Yi felt a chill. It's too powerful. The two of them felt that they didn't even have the chance to fight back in front of this person. A corpse is no different from a soul slave. A soul slave is refined by the soul, so its strength is much stronger than the main body. However, a corpse is different. It's very difficult to refine. Aside from relying on the corpse, it also needs to fuse with the soul. However, a corpse has one advantage, which is that it can leave the dragon seal space and appear on its own. A soul slave can't. Grandpa, Dad, I have something to tell you. However, you can't let others know about this. Seeing Longao's serious tone, Longao and Long Yi both nodded. 2 hours later, Longao arranged for the corpse to be in the Long family. It's the Long family's secret weapon. He believes that even if a transformation realm cultivator comes, the Long family will still have the ability to protect themselves. Long Ying, Long Shi, Long Meng, Long En, Long Qianqian, Long Zheng, Long Fang, Long Yi, Long Feng and the others were all looking at Longao with excitement. Because Longao is now the pride of the Long family. Seventh brother, why are you looking for us? In the third generation of the Long family, Long Ying was supposed to be the #1 genius. However, ever since Longao's strong rise, the title of #1 genius fell on Longao's head. Even so, Long Ying didn't have the slightest bit of envy. After all, the height that Longao is standing now isn't something that they can touch. Big brother, the reason I've asked you all to come here is because of your cultivation. This time, I'll be staying here for a period of time. During this period of time, I'll help you all concoct some pills and help you all break through. I hope that within a month, all of you will be able to increase your cultivation by 3 levels. Ah! Seventh brother, don't joke with us. Our little hearts can't take it. That's right. Seventh brother, how is it possible to raise your cultivation by 3 ranks in a month? No one believed it. After all, to raise one's cultivation by 3 ranks in a month, is it possible to do it? Longao only smiled and said, everyone, believe me. 1 month later, I'll give you a surprise. Long Ying looked deeply at Longao, nodded and said, Seventh brother, I believe you. Long Ying was very clear in his heart that his current cultivation has already reached the 100 scattering heaven. If he continuously broke through 3 ranks, wouldn't he be able to reach the so-called one-line sky peak? This was something that he didn't even dare to think about. Chapter 129. In the following period of time, Longao did not leave the family, wholeheartedly helping everyone to improve their strength. In the courtyard, Longao guarded his origin, absorbing the power from the dragon seal space. He tried to force all the power in his body into his dantian, forming a state of endless circulation. The 5 Xiantian realms, from low to high, were the 100 scattered sky realm, one-line sky realm, evolution realm, fusion realm, and consolidation realm. Consolidation realm. In order to break through from the fusion realm to the consolidation realm, one had to force all the power into the dantian, gather it into a point, and then form a state of endless circulation. This seemed simple, but it was actually extremely difficult. At this moment, all the power in Longao's body had gathered in his dantian, and gathered at a point, forming a state of endless circulation. Slowly opening his eyes, Longao's face revealed a trace of surprise. Consolidation realm. In 10 days, he had finally broken through to the consolidation realm. Longao knew very well that although the fusion realm and the consolidation realm were only 1 realm apart, the difference in strength was huge and could not be compared. Consolidation realm. Next, it was time to work hard towards the transformation realm. Above the Xiantian realm was the transformation realm, which was divided into 5 realms. From low to high, they were the lightning tribulation realm, transformation realm, human king realm, earth emperor realm, and Tao ancestor realm. Lightning tribulation. Longao knew very well that as long as he could sense his lightning tribulation, once he successfully passed it, he would truly break through to the Xiantian realm and reach the transformation realm. However, Longao was also a little worried, because he had already learned that many consolidation realm warriors had failed to pass their lightning tribulation, and the success rate was less than 30%. Just as he stood up, Longao stretched his back, and the door of the courtyard was opened. He seemed to be angry, because Longao had already instructed that no one was allowed to disturb him when he was cultivating in seclusion. With Longao's current status in the Long family, who would dare to disturb his cultivation? Grandfather, what's the matter? Seeing his grandfather enter, Longao's anger instantly disappeared, but at this moment, Longao seemed to be a little anxious, and said, I have something to talk to you about. Longao became even more curious. He didn't know why his grandfather was looking for him. A day ago, news came from the Scarlet Mountain Range, saying that someone found an injured Qilin on the Scarlet Mountain range. Qilin! Longao exclaimed. Of course, Longao was no stranger to the Qilin that his grandfather had mentioned. Qilins were like dragons. They were one of the strongest races in the martial heaven continent. However, the Qilins had a fatal weakness. They only had 1,000th of the dragon race, or even 10,000th of it. Because of this, Qilins were very rare in the Sky Martial continent. Grandpa, the strength of the Qilin goes without saying. Even if the Qilin is injured, it is not something that ordinary people can get close to. Could it be that someone has already gone to the Scarlet Volcano? Nodding his head, Longao said, Qilin has already attracted the attention of everyone. I have received reliable news that the kingdoms from all directions, including the Thunder Kingdom, the Star Cloud Kingdom, the Flame Kingdom, and even the people from the 6 great sects, are all rushing towards the Scarlet Volcano. Thunder Empire, Inferno Empire, Star Cloud Kingdom, 6 great sects. Longao didn't feel the slightest bit of shock. After all, an injured Qilin was extremely enticing. Now Longao was only curious about one thing. How had this powerful Qilin been injured? Just who had injured it? Without a doubt, the person who had injured the Qilin was definitely an expert amongst experts. This time I came to tell you this. However, no matter what happens, you are not allowed to go to the Scarlet Volcano. Do you understand? How could Longao not know his grandfather's worries? Smiling, he said, Grandpa, don't worry. I'm just going to take a look and see some old friends. Longao deeply glanced at his grandson. He was very clear about Aoa's character, so he didn't say anything. Once Longao left, Longao was a bit worried. He directly left his courtyard and went to the Scarlet Volcano. The Scarlet Volcano was Longao's favorite place since he was young. He vaguely remembered that 10 years ago, he had fallen from a genius to a trash. He was bullied and ridiculed, but he still didn't give up. He persisted for 10 years and came to the Scarlet Volcano every day to cultivate. Because of this, Longao had a lot of feelings for the Scarlet Volcano. At this moment, the Scarlet Volcano could be said to be extremely lively. It was packed with people and could be attacked at any time. Therefore, Longao didn't rush up the mountain. Instead, he took a shortcut. The shortcut of the Scarlet Volcano was probably only known to Longao alone. The temptation of the Qilin being injured caused the entire Tianju to boil. The 6 great sects, 2 great empires, and countless kingdoms all flocked over. Everyone wanted to get the Qilin. If they could get the Qilin's approval, then becoming an overlord wouldn't be a difficult thing. Somewhere in the Scarlet Volcano. Aoshue, are you thinking about him again? Ghost King Ao Tian shook his head helplessly. Every time he saw his daughter like this, his heart would ache, but there was nothing he could do. Aoshue smiled and didn't answer. Instead, she said, Father, didn't you say that there was an injured Qilin in the Scarlet Volcano? We've been here for an entire day. Why haven't we found the Qilin yet? At the mention of the Qilin, Ao Tian immediately became spirited. He said, the Qilin is incomparably powerful. Even if it's injured, I believe that it's not something an ordinary person can deal with. Moreover, the Qilin isn't an idiot. It must know its situation. That's why it's still at the Scarlet Volcano. It's just hiding. Father, the people from the other 5 great sects have all gathered at the Scarlet Volcano. If they find the Qilin at the same time, wouldn't a big battle be inevitable? Nodding, Ao Tian suddenly smiled and said, Aoshue, I believe you know what a Qilin means. Otherwise, the 5 great sects wouldn't all come. Without saying anything else, Aoshue pouted. No one knew what she was mumbling. Longao, who had successfully ascended the mountain, didn't provoke the people from the 5 great sects. Instead, he searched everywhere for traces of the Qilin. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't tempted by the Qilin's injury. Longao knew very well that if he could obtain the Qilin's soul, once it was refined by Long Fu, he believed that it wouldn't be difficult for him and Long Qiong to break through the transformation realm with the help of this power. The sacred desolation physique, and 2 of them at that, required a terrifying amount of power. It was also because of this that Longao came to try his luck. Tang Lin. Looking at the people resting in the distance, Longao's face didn't look too good. This was because he looked down on this person and the Starcloud Kingdom. Longao looked down on them. Chapter 130. Overestimating himself. This time, the temptation of Chilean's injury attracted the 6 major sects and 2 empires. How big of a wave could a small Starcloud Kingdom cause? Tang Lin, Hao Chao, Yang Yi, and the rest sat down to rest. Hall Master, I've always been unconvinced. Why do we have to tolerate Longao? He's just a piece of trash who got lucky. Yang Yi was filled with killing intent towards Longao. If it wasn't for Tang Lin, Yang Yi would have already killed his way to Scarlet Fire Town. Hao Chao's expression didn't look too good, but he endured it in the end. No matter what, he was still a member of the National Guard Hall. With the Hall Master and Vice Hall Master present, he had no right to speak. Brother Yang, Longao's situation is a bit special. Hall Master, Scarlet Fire Town originally belonged to our Starcloud Kingdom, but what about now? Longao killed Yu Wei and Luo Cheng. This is not putting our National Guard Hall in his eyes. Are we just going to sit by and do nothing? Without giving Tang Lin any chance to speak, Yang Yi continued, I don't care. If the National Guard Hall still tolerates Longao, I will withdraw from the National Guard Hall. Vice Hall Master, your words are wrong. Hearing Hao Chao's sudden interruption, Yang Yi's expression turned cold. Hao Chao, what do you mean? Vice Hall Master, when Longao first entered the National Guard Hall, he did his best, but Luo Cheng kept on causing trouble. If it was someone else, they would have attacked long ago. But Brother Long kept on tolerating. In the end, Luo Cheng killed Luo Cheng. Yang Yi only snorted and didn't say anything. Hao Chao continued, the kingdom abandoned Brother Long twice. Let me ask you, if it was you, what would you do? Yang Yi was speechless. After all, this matter was indeed the fault of the Starcloud Kingdom and the National Guard Hall. Longao didn't do anything wrong. However, Yang Yi and Tang Lin's expression was extremely cold. Hao Chao, are you saying that we did something wrong? That's right. I think we did something wrong. We should try our best to rope in Brother Long instead of thinking of ways to deal with him. So Hall Master and Vice Hall Master, please think twice before you act. Catcher. Before Hao Chao could finish his words, Yang Yi had already made his move. A palm strike landed on Hao Chao's body, sending him flying. Poochie. Blood spurted out. Hao Chao's body fell heavily to the ground. He struggled to get up. His face was filled with disbelief. He never thought that Yang Yi would suddenly attack him. Hao Chao, you traitor. Do you think I don't know about the shameless things between you and Longao? As a member of the National Defender Hall, you actually helped an outsider kill a member of the National Defender Hall. That alone is enough to kill you. Tang Lin didn't say anything, but his meaning was very clear. The Nebula Protector Hall is a shameless place with shameless people. Now I know why Brother Long wants to leave. It would have been fine if Hao Chao hadn't mentioned Longao, but the moment he mentioned Longao, both Tang Lin and Yang Yi's faces turned even colder. Longao had completely separated the Scarlet Fire Town from the Nebula Imperial family and killed Luo Cheng and the others, causing the Nebula Imperial family and the Nebula National Protector Hall to lose face. Tang Lin and Zhao Mang did not say anything, but they were extremely unhappy. Presumptuous. Yang Yi's killing intent had already been triggered. His body shot out like an arrow. Before he arrived, his killing intent had already arrived. However, Yang Yi came back even faster. His body was like a kite with a broken string, making the most intimate contact with the ground. Seeing the sudden appearance of the black-clothed white-haired youth, everyone was shocked, especially Tang Lin and the others. Brother Longao had a good impression of Hao Chao as a friend. After all, Hao Chao dared to go against the Hall Master and the Vice Hall Master, which meant that Hao Chao had treated him as a friend. Longao was just like that. He could give his heart to his friends, but he would not show any mercy to his enemies. Cutting the weeds and eliminating the roots was his usual way of dealing with his enemies. Tang Lin, Yang Yi, you guys are really shameless. If you have any problems, come at me. There's no need to treat my friends as well. Yang Yi was defeated in a single move, and he was so scared that he took 3 steps back. HMPH, Longao, you killed Luo Cheng and the others. You don't even put my National Guard Hall in your eyes. Moreover, you even separated the Scarlet Fire Town. Ask yourself, who are you? Not only Yang Yi, but even Tang Lin also felt that Longao was not someone they could deal with. After all, who in the Star Cloud Kingdom could fight against a lunatic who could kill Yi Yidao? Because of this, whether it was Tang Lin, Yang Yi, or the others, they were all afraid of Longao. Tang Lin, Yang Yi, I have seen shameless people before, but I have never seen someone as shameless as you guys. Star Cloud Royal Family has abandoned me twice. I would like to ask, aren't the Star Cloud Royal Family and the National Guard Hall shameless? Tang Lin and Yang Yi were speechless because this matter was indeed the fault of the National Guard Hall and the Royal Family. Abandoning Longao twice, this matter alone was not justifiable no matter where they went. However, since things had already reached this stage, Tang Lin and Yang Yi naturally would not admit that they were wrong. Longao, if the king wants the subject to die, the subject has no choice but to die. As a citizen of the Star Cloud Kingdom, you should always be prepared to sacrifice yourself for the kingdom. Moreover, you killed Luo Cheng. Don't tell me you did the right thing. Longao ruthlessly despised the other party in his heart. He had seen shameless people before, but he had never seen someone as shameless as them, lying through their teeth. With a cold snort, Longao said, Luo Cheng and the others wanted to kill me. For the sake of the National Guard Hall, I compromised. However, they didn't know what was good for them. I killed them. They deserved it. They can't blame others. Longao, you can say whatever you want now. We don't know what Luo Cheng did. Maybe you just wanted to eliminate the dissidents. Longao, no matter what, you are still a citizen of the Star Cloud Kingdom. Wait, I'll tell you one more time. When the Star Cloud Kingdom abandoned me, I no longer belonged to the Star Cloud Kingdom. Therefore, I am no longer a citizen of the Star Cloud Kingdom. Tang Lin took a deep look at Longao and did not continue to dwell on this question. Instead, he asked, All right, I'll ask you now. Do you really want to leave the Star Cloud Kingdom? I've already said that it's not that I want to leave the Star Cloud Kingdom. It's the Star Cloud Kingdom that abandoned me first. Therefore, the fault does not lie with me. It's your fault. Just now, you injured my friend. As long as you apologize to Brother Hao, I will be magnanimous and let you off. Ha 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 ha. Hearing Longao's words, Yang Yi suddenly laughed loudly. Longao, I know that you are very powerful now. However, you must remember that you are not alone. You have the Long clan behind you. If you don't behave, not only you, but even your clan will suffer with you. Chapter 131. Family in trouble? The one thing that Longao couldn't touch was family. Die. Longao spat out a word coldly. Suddenly, a terrifying power was emitted from his body, suppressing everything. Consolidation Realm. Longao was no longer the same as before. When he was in the Consolidation Realm, he was able to kill Yi Yidao, let alone with his current strength. As the saying goes, once an expert makes a move, one will know whether or not he's a real expert. Longao did not hold back in the slightest as he killed Tang Lin and the rest. He kept all of their souls into the Dragon Seal space and refined their energy. After all, with his current strength, even if they were refined into soul slaves, it would be useless. Longao didn't care about the corpses. No matter what, he still had Hao Chao by his side. He didn't want others to know about his Dragon Seal space. Brother Long, you'll be in big trouble after killing Tang Lin and the rest. With an indifferent expression, Longao said with a smile, the Nebula royal family relies on the National Guardian Hall. Now that almost all of their experts are dead, I don't believe that the Nebula Kingdom can cause any trouble. Longao understood the situation in the Nebula Kingdom. In the Nebula Kingdom, other than their own strength, The most important thing was the National Guardian Hall. Now that 80% of the National Guardian Hall's members were dead, Longao could predict it. The Nebula royal family should be thanking the heavens if they didn't fall. However, Hao Chao said with a serious face, "Brother Long, we're in big trouble now." "What trouble?" "Brother Long, you don't know. The Nebula Kingdom doesn't only have the National Guardian Hall. In fact, there's an old ancestor in the royal family. It's said that he reached the Consolidation Realm 10 years ago." The royal family's old ancestor? Hearing this, Longao was shocked. He knew very well that the old ancestor of the Nebula royal family had reached the Consolidation Realm 10 years ago. What about now? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew that if the old ancestor of the Nebula royal family really broke through to the Transformation Realm, it would be extremely difficult for him to win. "Brother Long, you killed Tang Lin, Yang Yi, and the others this time. Once the Nebula royal family finds out, it will be very troublesome. It might even implicate your family." Longao nodded. How could he not know what Hao Chao was worried about? "Brother Hao, are you here for the injured Qilin?" Seeing that Longao didn't want to continue this topic, Hao Chao didn't continue. He nodded and said, "Yes. Brother Long, the news that Chihuan volcano has a Qilin has spread throughout the entire Tianju. Not only us, but even the Fire Empire, Thunder Empire, and the 6 great sects are all here. Brother Long, are you also here for the Qilin?" Longao didn't conceal anything about this matter. He spoke the truth, "That's right. Brother Hao, this matter has nothing to do with you, so you should hide for now." Nodding his head, Hao Chao didn't overestimate himself. After all, the Nebula royal family's strength and foundation were there for all to see. After saying a few words of concern, Hao Chao turned around and left. "Since you're here, why don't you come out and meet me?" "Ha ha ha, not bad. You can actually sense our auras." Looking at the 3 people who suddenly appeared in front of him, Longao's heart was extremely heavy. It was truly a small world. The 3 people were none other than the master of the Bloodsea sect, Guan Feng, and the 2 elders, Du Hushuan and Du Yunxian. The Bloodsea sect, the Flowing Cloud sect, was a subsidiary sect of the Bloodsea sect. Back then, when he destroyed the Flowing Cloud sect, the Bloodsea sect had always been holding a grudge. However, with the Ghost King's appearance, the Bloodsea sect didn't dare to act recklessly. However, Longao knew that as long as he was alive, there might be people who were afraid of the Ghost King sect and wouldn't dare to deal with him. Once he died, would the Ghost King sect still dare to offend people for him? The answer was obvious. Because of this, Longao understood a principle even more. It was better to rely on oneself than to rely on others. Having powerful strength was the way to go. "Longao, if you die here, do you think anyone will know?" Hearing this, Longao still had an indifferent expression. He coldly laughed and said, "Bloodsea sect, MPH. Longao, are you afraid?" "I'm not afraid, I just want to laugh. I want to laugh at your shamelessness." Hearing this, Du Yunxian and Du Hushuan were furious, but they were stopped by Guan Feng. He smiled and said, "Longao, I've heard about the matter between you and Aoshue, but I can say with certainty that you won't be able to obtain Aoshue. Also, don't think that just because you have the support of the Ghost King sect, you can do whatever you want. I'll let you off today, but in the future, I'll make you beg for death." Looking at the 3 people who turned around and left, Longao had a bad premonition. What did Guan Feng mean by that? Longao couldn't think of why he and Aoshue couldn't be together. After all, even the Ghost King Ao Tian had agreed. In this world, who could stop the 2 of them from being together? Ignoring Guan Feng's words, Longao turned and left. This time, entering the Scarlet Volcano, Longao wanted to try his luck and see if he could meet the injured Qilin. Just like this, Longao aimlessly walked around the Scarlet Volcano. No matter who he met, he would stay far away. No matter what, the Scarlet Volcano was very close to the Scarlet Fire Town. If he provoked an enemy, he would implicate his family. Because of this, Longao searched for the injured Qilin alone. Unknowingly, 3 days had passed. Outside an extremely hidden cave in the Scarlet Volcano, Just as he arrived outside the cave, Longao felt a terrifying aura coming from inside the cave. He was shocked. Without even looking inside, Longao already knew that the injured Chileen must be inside the cave. Longao was overjoyed in his heart. He cautiously raised his spirits and stepped into the cave. Step by step, after walking for a few minutes, Longao finally saw a glimmer of light. Not only was he not surprised, but he became even more serious. He carefully walked to the entrance of the cave. With one look, he was so scared that he swallowed his saliva. The incomparably huge cave was filled with a fiery aura. It was like an endless flame was burning. There was no need to enter the cave. Just standing at the entrance of the cave was like being burned by an endless flame. In the middle of the cave, there was a huge monster lying there. It had a dragon head, antlers, lion's eyes, a tiger's back, a bear's waist, snake's scales, horse's hooves, and an ox's tail. It was like a small mountain, and its whole body was fiery red. Fire Chileen? Could this be the legendary Fire Chileen? Longao wasn't an idiot. Of course, he knew that the monster in the middle of the cave was the Fire Chileen. Just like the rumors, the Fire Chileen was injured. Because of this, Longao knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him. No matter what, he couldn't give up. Chapter 132. So be it. Longao knew that if he gave up this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, he would never forgive himself. It was precisely because of this that Longao finally took a step forward. With just one step, he had already officially entered the cave. As soon as he stepped into the cave, Longao felt like he was in a flaming mountain. His whole body was burning. His face was shocked. Not to mention the Fire Chileen's strength, its momentum was not something he could resist. Shameless human, you're courting death. Who? Hearing the voice, Longao was shocked. He looked around vigilantly as if he had seen a ghost. F***ck, such a weak human. This is the first time I've seen such a weak human. At this moment, Longao finally determined the source of the voice. It was the Fire Chileen in front of him. Yes, it was the Fire Chileen. Longao was very sure. F***ck, you're the one talking. Longao, who had never used vulgarities before, immediately burst out. This was because a spirit beast had opened its mouth to speak. Who had ever seen such a thing? It was almost unheard of. Am I not allowed to speak? Looking at the huge Fire Chileen slowly raising its head, Longao swallowed his saliva and said, "You can, it's just that I haven't seen it before." Ha ha ha, boy, there are many things you haven't seen. Ignorant. Longao was not angry at all. After all, it was the first time he heard a spirit beast talking. His whole body was in a vigilant state. Once the Fire Chileen attacked, at least he could run faster. As the saying goes, a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. As one of the most powerful races in the world, the Fire Chileen's strength was no different from the giant dragon clan. Longao knew that even if the Fire Chileen was injured, its strength was far beyond him. Once the battle started, the consequences would be unimaginable. As if it could understand Longao's meaning, the Fire Chileen suddenly laughed. Its laughter was filled with contempt and disdain. It said, "Brat, with your strength, you also want to snatch my treasure?" Treasure? Where did it come from? Longao did not deny that he wanted to obtain the Fire Chileen's soul, but he knew nothing about the treasure mentioned by the Fire Chileen. Seeing the confused look on Zhongshen's face, the Chileen could tell that the other party was not lying from his aura. Thus, he asked, "Lad, why don't I make a deal with you?" A deal? Hearing this, Longao was not the slightest bit excited. Instead, he became even more solemn and cautious. No matter what, the Fire Chileen was incomparably powerful. Once it recovered from its injuries, killing him would be a simple matter. "Senior Chileen, what do you want to trade with me?" "Senior? Do you think I'm that old? Call me Big Brother Fire." Regarding the Fire Chileen's fiery temper, Longao was very speechless, but there was nothing he could do. He was extremely unwilling to call out, "Big Brother Chileen. Kid, what's your name?" "Longao." Kid, I'll make a deal with you now. You help me leave here and find a place for me to recover from my injuries. Then, I'll help you cultivate. How about it? In an instant, Longao had already understood the meaning of the fire Chileen. It was very simple. It wanted him to help him leave here and help the fire Chileen recover from its injuries. Longao was not a fool. Of course, it was impossible for him to agree to such a deal. Big brother Chileen, I feel that this is unfair. You dare to question me. Then, an incomparably terrifying aura directly suppressed Longao. Catcher, Chileen almost suppressed him to kneel on the ground, but even so, a trace of blood oozed from the corner of his mouth. His whole body was trembling and his fists were clenched. Even so, Longao still persevered. He didn't even make a sound and just stood there firmly. Even the Chileen began to be surprised. He was very clear about the aura he released. The other party was just a small Xiantian warrior, but he could stand firm. Just for this point, the Chileen began to admire him. The aura disappeared. The Chileen nodded in appreciation and said, "You can state a condition." His heart was suddenly happy. He did not care about the bursts of pain in his body. He eagerly said, "Big brother Chileen, my condition is very simple. I hope that Big brother Chileen can guard my Long family for 3 years." The moment he found the Chileen, Longao had already thought about this matter. Now the family was still very dangerous. Although there was a transformed corpse slave guarding the family, once a warrior above the transformation realm invaded the family, who could resist the invasion of the family? It was precisely because of this that Longao could not wait to do this matter. Because once the fire Chileen guarded the family, there was no doubt that from now on, at least for 3 years, he could sit back and relax. 3 years. The fire Chileen was not a fool. Of course, he knew what it meant to guard the family for 3 years. Once he agreed, it meant that he would lose 3 years. Within 3 years, he had to guard the other party's family. He bowed his head and began to ponder. Longao was not in a hurry because he was very clear that the fire Chileen was like this. It seemed that there was a chance. But after thinking about it, he felt relieved. In any case, the fire Chileen was seriously injured. Sure enough. After thinking for a while, the fire Chileen suddenly raised his head and said, "All right, since my injury is more serious, 3 years, I will give you 3 years. But boy, you have to remember, I only promised to guard the Long family and protect the safety of the Long family. But you and your clansmen, once you leave the family, I will not make a move." For the fire Chileen's intention, how could Longao not know? But even so, Longao was pleasantly surprised. He immediately agreed and then asked, "Big brother Chileen, I want to ask, who injured you?" Until now, Longao wanted to know who injured the fire Chileen. Without much guessing, Longao could be sure that the person who injured the fire Chileen was definitely an expert among experts. If the fire Chileen guarded the Long family and led this expert to the Long family, wouldn't he be inviting a wolf into the house? "Brat, you don't have the qualifications to know about this. Quickly take me away." Suddenly, the fire Chileen's face began to become anxious. Before Longao could react, the fire Chileen's body began to change. From a mountain-like giant, it directly turned into a fist-sized Chileen. As if he knew what had happened, Longao immediately picked up the smaller fire Chileen, turned around and quickly left. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared from the cave. Not long after Longao left, about 3 minutes later, a black figure suddenly appeared in the cave. His cold face was filled with killing intent, and a terrifying aura directly enveloped the entire cave. Without discovering anything, the black-clothed man seemed to be very curious, but he did not continue to stay and directly disappeared into thin air. Chapter 133. He was blessed with great fortune. Holding the fire Chileen in his arms, Longao felt like he was in a dream. The 5 realms of the innate realm were 100 dispersed sky realm, 1-line sky realm, evolution realm, fusion realm, and consolidation realm. The 5 realms of transformation were thunder tribulation realm, transformation realm, human king realm, earth emperor realm, and Tao ancestor realm. Sensing back and forth, Longao was unable to sense what realm the fire Chilean's strength was. Could it be a Dao ancestor? In the end, Longao shrugged helplessly, because he knew that no matter how strong the fire Chilean was, as long as it could guard the Long family, even if it was only for 3 years, it was more than enough. Longao had full confidence that as long as he was given 3 years, his cultivation would be able to break through the transformation realm. Even if he could not reach Dao ancestor, he could at least reach human king or even earth emperor. Because of this, Longao, who was holding the fire Chilean, was preparing to return to the family at the fastest speed. But at this time, Longao met an acquaintance who had just separated. Hall Master Jiyu Bai, the Hall Master of the Thunder Protection Hall, was also a transformation warrior. This time, he brought many masters to the Red Volcano for the Chilean of the Red Volcano. For a long time, Jiyu Bai was very unhappy with Longao. If it were not for the fear of Longao's talent and potential, and the Ghost King sect behind him, Jiyu Bai believed that Jiyu Bai would have killed him long ago, and would not wait until now. Longao, I just told them that after this trip to the Red Volcano, we will go to the Red Fire Town to see you. I did not expect to meet you here. We are really fated. Fated. With a cold snort in his heart, Longao despised Jiyu Bai in his heart. Previously, he represented the Thunder Empire to participate in the war between the two countries. It was because of Jiyu Bai's words that he almost got himself killed. Longao was not a fool. If he could not see Jiyu Bai's intention, then there was no meaning in living. Because of this, Longao did not have much good impression of Jiyu Bai. Longao, as someone from the Scarlet Fire Town, you should be very familiar with the Scarlet Fire Mountain, right? How could Longao not know what Jiyu Bai meant? He snorted coldly in his heart, but said, Hall Master Jiyu, I'm sorry. I don't know much about the Scarlet Volcano. I still have things to do. If Hall Master Jiyu doesn't have anything else to say, I'll take my leave first. As he spoke, Longao didn't care whether Jiyu Bai agreed or not, and directly turned around and left. Although he clearly knew that Jiyu Bai was a transformation martial artist, Longao was not the slightest bit worried. Longao's cultivation had already reached the consolidation realm. He was only one step away from officially becoming a metamorphosis martial artist. However, it was this step that made the difference in strength between the two of them very large. Longao had full confidence that if he was forced to fight, then he could only use the 9 needles sealing god to quickly raise his strength. At that time, killing Jiyu Bai wouldn't be difficult. Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, Jiyu Bai's face was extremely gloomy. It was as ugly as it could get. As the Hall Master of the Thunder Nation Protection Hall, not to mention a mere Longao, even the Thunder Royal family's Emperor Jiaomang wouldn't dare treat him like this. Clenching his fists tightly, the corners of his mouth suddenly curled up in a sinister smile. Jiyu Bai muttered to himself, Longao, just you wait. I'll make you regret it. After successfully returning to the clan, Longao immediately went to find his grandfather, Long Haosha, and father, Long Yi. He went straight to the point and said, Grandfather, father, you have to immediately open up a quiet place. No matter who it is, you are not allowed to easily disturb this senior. Hearing Longao speak so gravely, Long Haosha and Long Yi also knew the seriousness of the matter. They didn't dare to hesitate and immediately went to make arrangements. In less than 2 hours, a secluded huge courtyard was opened up in the backyard of the Long clan's residence near the ancestral hall. The environment was very beautiful and secluded. After settling the Chilean down, Longao didn't hide anything. He told them about the 3-year promise he made with the Fire Chilean in full detail. After hearing that, both Long Haosha and Long Yi were shocked. The two of them didn't seem to have expected that Longao would actually find the Fire Chilean and make a 3-year promise with it. Of course, Long Haosha and Long Yi knew what the Fire Chilean meant. The Chilean clan was one of the strongest clans in the world. They were super existences that could stand shoulder to shoulder with the Dragon clan. Strictly speaking, the Chilean clan was above the Dragon clan. However, the members of the Chilean clan were far inferior to the members of the Dragon clan. They weren't even a tenth of the Dragon clan. Furthermore, Every single member of the Qilin clan was incomparably powerful. Just this point alone showed the strength and foundation of the Qilin clan. After a short moment of shock, Long Haosha and Long Yi's faces were filled with joy. The two of them knew very well that once the clan had the fire Qilin, who would dare to touch the Long clan in the entire Tianju province? Grandfather, father, don't tell anyone about this. Nodding their heads, Long Haosha and Long Yi obviously knew the seriousness of the matter. Long Haosha said, "Ao, don't worry. Only the three of us know about this." Long Ao obviously trusted his grandfather and father. After all, they were the people closest to him. The reason why Long Ao didn't want this to be known was simple. Everyone in Tianju already knew about the injured Qilin of the Chihuan volcano. If the news of the fire Qilin being in the clan was leaked, everyone would think that he took advantage of this opportunity. If that was really the case, he believed that he would have endless troubles in the future. It was because of this that Long Ao was prepared to hide this matter. Grandfather, in a few days, I will leave the clan and go out to train. In 3 years, I believe that with the fire Qilin in the clan, no one will dare to bully the Long clan. Long Haosha and Long Yi both nodded their heads in agreement. Grandfather, father, unless it's absolutely necessary, don't disturb the fire Qilin. In 3 years, I will try my best to increase my strength. I believe that after 3 years, I will protect the clan with my own strength. At this moment, Long Ao's body emitted a strong sense of confidence. 3 years may be a fast time for others, but for Long Ao, 2 words were enough. Ao, be careful. Grandfather, father, don't worry. After settling down the fire Qilin, Long Ao continued to help Long Ying and the others increase their strength. In a month's time, what made Long Ying and the others incomparably shocked was that their cultivation had really all increased by 3 ranks. If this matter were to spread, it would most likely shake Scarlet Flame Town and even Star Cloud Kingdom. 1 month later, Long Ao bid farewell to his parents, grandfather, and family. Riding a snow-white horse, he whipped his horse and left. On the vast land, under the scorching sun, a man and a horse galloped between the heavens and the earth. 1 man and 1 blade dyed the blue sky. In this world, a peerless powerhouse was destined to rise. Chapter 134. Long Ao killed Yi Yidao and ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking list. Long Ao's rise shook the entire Tianju. The death of Yi Yidao shocked and enraged the imperial family. If they were not afraid of the Thunder Empire and the Ghost King sect, they would have taken action. The 100 battle ranking list. There were 9 prefectures and 900 battle rankings in the Tianwu continent. In the 9 prefectures, anyone who entered the 100 battle ranking list was a genius. Moreover, Yi Yidao was ranked 11th and 20th on the 100 battle ranking list. Long Ao had just entered the 100 battle ranking list. Many people wanted to make a name for themselves and challenged Long Ao to enter the 100 battle ranking list. However, after Long Ao entered the 100 battle ranking list, no one dared to challenge him anymore. Many people might not know about Long Ao's strength, but Yi Yidao's fame was well known. A person who could kill Yi Yidao, how powerful was he? Long Ao had just killed Yi Yidao, who was ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking. The news that Long Ao had killed Tang Lin, the Vice Hall Master, Yang Yi, and several other members of the Thunder Nation Protection Hall spread throughout the entire Tianju. Everyone who heard this news turned pale with fright. Everyone was thinking that even if Long Ao could kill Yi Yidao and be ranked 11th on the 100 battle ranking list, was he really so arrogant? Anyway, killing 80% of the members of the Nation Protection Hall, including the Hall Master and Deputy Hall Master, was equivalent to destroying the mainstay of the Star Cloud Kingdom. Everyone could imagine that the Star Cloud Kingdom hated Long Ao to the core at this moment. If it was an ordinary kingdom, they would definitely choose to compromise. After all, Long Ao was no longer the same as before. Imagine, a rising genius who could kill Yi Yidao. Would an ordinary kingdom dare to provoke him? Star Cloud City, Star Cloud Kingdom. Long Ao left the Red Fire Town. 3 days later, he arrived outside the Star Cloud City. After killing the Nebula Protector Hall's men, he still dared to come to Nebula City. If Longao's actions were known by others, he wondered if he would be called an idiot. Looking at the Nebula City in front of him, Longao's face was filled with determination. This time, Longao only had one goal, and that was to completely resolve the grudge between himself and the Nebula royal family. Longao knew that he had killed Tang Lin, Yang Yi, and the others. Even if he did not come, he believed that the Nebula royal family would not let this matter rest. Instead of being passive, it was better to strike first. It was precisely because of this that Longao had decided to come to Starcloud City. Longao finally stepped into the Starcloud City. As soon as he entered, the Starcloud royal family already knew about Longao's movements. To be exact, the moment Longao left the Scarlet Fire town, the Starcloud royal family already knew about it. However, the Nebula royal family did not do anything. It was as if nothing had happened. 5th grade Long family. When Longao entered the Starcloud City, his first stop was not the Nebula royal family, but the 5th grade Long family. This was because before resolving the grudge between him and the Nebula royal family, he had to first resolve the grudge between him and the 5th grade Long family. Long family, front yard. Looking at the sudden appearance of Longao, Long Ying's face was extremely gloomy. It was as ugly as it could be. This was because he had already guessed the purpose of Longao's visit. Before his death, Long Ying would not even put Longao in his eyes. However, the situation was completely different now. To be able to kill Yi Yidao and be ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking, Long Ying had already guessed Longao's current strength. A unification realm warrior. Who in the family could resist Longao? Longao. Long Ying, you better shut up. If you are a warrior, don't deny what you have done. Long Ying looked deeply at the white-haired young man in front of him and said fiercely, "No. I was the one who spread the news that you are a dragon warrior." "So what?" Long Ying admitted. On the contrary, Longao admired him. There was not much anger in his heart. After all, he had killed Long Ming. It would be strange if Long Ying did nothing. "Longao, my Long family has no enmity with you. However, you killed Long Ming and destroyed my Long family's hope of rising. Shouldn't I take revenge?" Smiling helplessly, Longao said disdainfully, "Long Ying, I have seen shameless people, but I have never seen someone as shameless as you. A man is cheap his whole life, but a pig is cheap with a knife. If I were you, I would go and die. You. Long Ying, you know better than me what happened. Long Ming has dealt with me again and again. Do you think I have to endure it all the time? You are an idiot, but I am not. So, Long Ming's death is his own fault." The white-haired young man in black stood proudly on the spot, looking coldly in front of him. Long Ying clenched his fists tightly, anger and unwillingness written all over his face. Long Ming was the hope and everything of the family. Long Ying could imagine that once Long Ming grew up, he would be able to lead the family. However, everything had been destroyed. The culprit was the person in front of him. It was because of this that Long Ying did not hesitate to offend Longao and spread the news that Longao was a dragon warrior. However, what Long Ying did not expect was that after this news spread, it was like a stone sinking into the sea. The 3rd level Long family did not believe it at all. Anger and unwillingness. "Longao, are you here to destroy my Long family? I have no enmity with the Long family. I only have one purpose for coming here. As long as you are willing to kill yourself here, my enmity with the Long family will be written off." Humiliation. As the head of the 5th level Long family, Long Ying felt endless humiliation and humiliation. However, there was nothing he could do. Long Ying knew that with his current ability, he was no match for the young man in front of him. Long Ying knew that if he did not kill himself, the result would be obvious. "Longao, if I don't agree, are you really going to destroy my family? Kill without mercy. Ha ha ha, Longao, do you really think that you are invincible? I can tell you clearly that if you dare to destroy my family, the Long family will not let you go. You can try if you don't believe me." Longao knew about this before. No matter what, The Nebula Long family was a 5th-level family. If he killed them, the Long family would definitely hold him responsible. No matter what, in the eyes of the Long family, all the branch families were one family. Moreover, the Long family had a rule that no matter what level the branch families were, they were not allowed to kill each other. Otherwise, they would be punished. That was why Long Ying was confident. Even if he did not kill himself, he believed that Lin Fan would not dare to kill his family. If that was the case, why should he kill himself? Longao was not angry. He smiled and said, "Long Ying, I can kill you within 10 moves. Do you believe me?" Longao had the right to look down on him. Long Ying knew that. Chapter 135. Longao, you don't have to be arrogant. Kill me first. The corner of Long Ying's mouth curled into a cold smile as he turned around and left quickly. Things had already reached this point. How could Longao let this person off? He immediately chased after. Longao was still scared. If Long Ying and the Long family chose to believe him, the consequences would be disastrous. Not only him, but even the family behind him would be affected. Because of this, Longao was filled with murderous intent. He swore to kill Long Ying. Both of them were very fast. In the blink of an eye, they entered the back mountain of the Long family. Before Longao could react, he felt the ground beneath his feet. He fell rapidly. His vision turned black. He did not dare to be careless. He waved his fists in all directions. Plop! Longao grimaced in pain. His entire body trembled in pain. Although his cultivation had already broken through to the consolidation realm, Longao was still made of flesh and blood. Falling from such a high height, ordinary people would have already fallen to their deaths. After a few minutes, Longao struggled to get up from the ground. He was fooled. Longao knew that he was fooled by Long Ying. He smiled bitterly. He was too careless this time. He did not continue to think about this problem. He started to look around. Under the dim light, Longao found himself in a cellar. It was cold and damp. Cold chi came from all directions. Even Longao could not help but shiver. Ha ha ha, Longao, weren't you arrogant just now? Didn't you want me to kill myself? Didn't you want to kill my family? Listening to the voices coming from all around, Longao didn't have the slightest bit of anger. He just stood there calmly. Shameless. Shameless. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Long Ying laughed out loud and said, "Longao, this cage is made of fine steel. Not to mention you, even a transformed martial artist would not be able to escape from here. I advise you to kill yourself here. Otherwise, I will let you experience the feeling of living a life worse than death." Idiot. Too lazy to pay attention to Long Ying, Longao has already started to recover. Squeak, squeak. At that moment, countless ear-piercing noises sounded out, and the cold aura became even colder. Out of curiosity, Longao took a look at his surroundings. It was fine when he looked around, but he was immediately shocked. Because at this time, countless blood-red praying mantises suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Each of them was the size of a fist. One after another, they swarmed over in an endless stream. Reaper mantis. Longao was shocked and exclaimed. Because he was not unfamiliar with the Reaper mantis. The Reaper mantis was not very powerful, but it was a spiritual beast that lived in groups. The reason why it was called the Reaper mantis was because once one was hit by the poisonous fog of the Reaper mantis, no matter how powerful one was, one would die instantly. Longao never thought that Long Ying would use this move to deal with him. He did not dare to be careless. He immediately took out his blood-drinking frenzy blade and used the first 3 moves of the blood-drinking 8 moves. The first move was 9 consecutive strikes, the second move was heart-devouring ice, and the third move was Sea of Flames. Longao quickly realized that among the 3 moves of the blood-drinking 8 moves, Sea of Flames was the most suitable to deal with these spiritual beasts that lived in groups. Because of this, Longao did not continue to use the first 2 moves of the blood-drinking 8 moves. Instead, he continuously used Sea of Flames and set up a shield with his blade light. One had to admit that Longao's blood-drinking frenzy blade and the blood-drinking 8 moves were indeed powerful. Countless Reaper Mantis could not get close to him. But Longao was not a fool. Of course, he knew that if this situation continued, even if he was not killed by the Reaper Mantis, he would be exhausted to death. Longao waved his blood-drinking frenzy blade and constantly used Sea of Flames. At the same time, he was thinking of various ways to deal with the Reaper Mantis around him. A dragon roar sounded. Then, Long Chong's huge body suddenly appeared in the cellar. Spiritual beasts were also divided into ranks. Among the spiritual beasts, the giant dragon was definitely the peak existence. This was also the real reason why the Long family could become one of the superpowers in the Tianwu continent. Long Qiong was a mutated giant dragon. Just the aura released by him had already suppressed the Reaper Mantis around him. Countless Reaper Mantis did not dare to move and did not continue to attack. They just lay there obediently. Long Ying, who was hiding outside, saw this situation and his face was gloomy to the extreme. Dragon Warrior. Originally, the family also had a dragon warrior. But because of this person, all their hopes were destroyed. Long Ao, you will definitely die today. Still ignoring Long Ying, Long Ao, with the help of Long Qiong, did not hesitate and immediately began to slaughter the Reaper Mantis around him. In just a few minutes, the Reaper Mantis around him had been slaughtered. Long Ao, of course, would not give up this opportunity. He sent all the souls into Long Ying's space and prepared to let Long Fu refine them. The Reaper Mantis were slaughtered. Long Ying did not have time to feel heartache. Because now, Long Ying's heart was only filled with hatred. As long as he could kill this person, no matter what he had to pay, it was worth it. Countless sharp arrows came from all directions, but ordinary sharp arrows could not hurt Long Ao at all. Long Ao, I want to see how you can resist the Reaper Mantis. Just as Long Ying's words fell, a huge Reaper Mantis appeared. Its whole body was blood red. Its cold eyes stared at the young man in front of it. Its 2 sharp knife legs made a clicking sound. Under the dim light, it reflected a cold light. Looking at the huge Reaper Mantis that suddenly appeared in front of him, Long Ao could sense the strength of the Reaper Mantis. Without a doubt, the Reaper Mantis in front of him was at the same level as him, the innate consolidation realm. Ever since his cultivation broke through to the consolidation realm, Long Ao had full confidence. With his current strength, even if he met a consolidation realm warrior, even if he could not kill him instantly, he could at least dominate the innate realm. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was known as the #1 person under the transformation realm. The #1 person under the transformation realm, which was the so-called #1 person in the innate realm. But even so, Long Ao still had a feeling that facing the Reaper Mantis, there seemed to be a sense of threat. Long Ao could be sure that the Reaper Mantis that appeared in front of him was at the peak of the consolidation realm. It was because of this that Long Ao did not dare to be careless. He even summoned the corpse slave that he had just refined, Yi Dao. Since the 3-year agreement with the Fire Chelin, Long Ao had brought the corpse slave again. No matter what, the corpse slave was at the lightning calamity realm. With the two of them working together, their confidence skyrocketed. Chapter 136. In the end, Long Ao didn't do it himself. He used all his strength to resist the cold aura coming from all directions because Long Ao found that the cold aura was poisonous. It didn't matter at first, but once he inhaled too much, it would affect his strength. Corpse Slave. Reaper Mantis. Corpse Slave was in the Lightning Retribution realm, while Reaper Mantis was in the Consolidation realm. They were both at the peak state. The Soul Slave or Corpse Slave that Long Fu refined with the help of the blood pool belonged to the immortal body. They were the kind of existence that couldn't be killed. Because of this, Long Ao wasn't worried at all. He used all his strength to resist the cold aura coming from all directions. As for the battle between Corpse Slave and Reaper Mantis, it was impossible to determine the winner in a short time. As the battle continued to escalate, Reaper Mantis began to be unable to resist the attacks of Corpse Slave. The battle between the corpse demon and the Reaper mantis was not on the same level at all. In the end, the corpse demon struck the top of the Reaper mantis head and killed her. He was overjoyed. Longao didn't hesitate at all. He immediately came to Reaper mantis and put her soul into the dragon seal space. Yi Dao was originally at the peak of the consolidation realm, but after being refined and fused with by Long Fu, he was finally refined into a transformed corpse slave. It was precisely because of this that Longao had full confidence that even if he encountered a transformed martial artist, he could still fight. Corpse slave. Longao didn't want to expose corpse slave unless it was a last resort. But now, it was a last resort, so Longao didn't take back the corpse slave. Instead, he used the corpse slave to leave this place. Seeing that Reaper mantis had been killed, Longying was shocked. He didn't care about anything else and turned to escape. But Longao, with the help of the corpse slave, had successfully left the cellar. Since things had come to this point, Longao wouldn't let Longying go. If it was just Longao, it would have been difficult to catch up with Longying. With the help of the corpse slave, things would be much easier. Not even Longao could compete with a corpse slave, let alone Longying. The difference between the Xiantian unification realm and the lightning tribulation realm was huge. They were not on the same level at all. Longao, you can't kill me. Longao felt like laughing. Things had already reached this point, and the other party was still acting like this. They were really shameless to the extreme. Longao, if you dare to kill me, the Long family won't let you off. Long family wouldn't care about this. Long family members would be speechless if they were to interfere in everything. Long family members would be speechless. Back when he killed the Long clan's people in Thundercloud City, the Long clan didn't ask about it. Actually, it was understandable. After all, the Long clan had countless branches. Just based on their level alone, there were a total of 9 levels. From level 9 Long clan to level 1 Long clan. Kill. Longao, you can't kill me. Longao didn't say anything more. Longao didn't even bother to do it himself. He directly gave the order to the corpse slave. The transformed corpse demon received the order and rushed forward. The result of the battle was already decided. Longying could not even block 3 of the corpse demon's attacks before he was mercilessly killed by the corpse demon. His soul was taken into the dragon seal space. Longao didn't stay in the Long family for long. He turned and left. In the next minute, the news of Longying's death had spread across the entire Starcloud City. When everyone knew that the killer was Longao, the whole city was in an uproar. Because no one believed that Longao would be so arrogant as to kill the head of the Long family openly. In Starcloud City, other than the Starcloud royal family, there were the Long family, Miao family, Cheng family and Nangong family. For countless years, this situation hadn't been broken. However, Longying was killed by Longao. This caused the Long family's power and status to plummet. If it was any other time, the other 3 families would definitely intervene. But now, they didn't dare to act rashly. They were prepared to watch the fight from the other side. The Starcloud royal family, who also received the news, didn't do anything. They remained silent as if nothing had happened. In the restaurant. Brother Long, you're too reckless to kill Tang Lin and Yang Yi. For Ouyang Fei, Longao really treated him as a friend. Otherwise, he wouldn't be sitting and drinking with him. No matter what, he and the Starcloud royal family were like fire and water. Life and death would be inevitable in the future. Not only Ouyang Fei, even Longao felt helpless about this matter. However, did he have a choice? Brother Ouyang, I still say the same thing. No matter what happens between me and the Starcloud royal family in the future, you and I will always be brothers. Ouyang Fei was delighted. He wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew that with Longao's current power and status, he couldn't be compared with him even though he was the crown prince of the Starcloud royal family. Longao was ranked 11th in the 100 battle ranking. Just this point alone was enough for him to look down on countless people of the same generation. Brother Long, I want to ask you for a favor. I hope you can agree. In fact, there was no need for Ouyang Fei to say more. Longao already knew what Ouyang Fei wanted to say. But in the end, he nodded and said, "Brother Ouyang, no matter what it is, I'll agree to it. Brother Long, I hope that no matter what happens in the future, I hope you won't be so ruthless. Consider it as giving me face. Except for your close relatives, I can't guarantee for the rest." Ouyang Fei nodded and finally felt relieved. At this time, Longao continued, "Brother Ouyang, don't worry. No matter what happens between me and the Starcloud royal family in the future, the Starcloud kingdom will always belong to the Ouyang family. You can also become the emperor of the Starcloud kingdom in the future. And I'll help you to soar step by step. One day, I'll make the Starcloud kingdom surpass the two empires." Ouyang Fei rejoiced in his heart. He clearly knew how heavy the weight of Longao's words were. "Brother Long, if I can succeed the throne, I hope that the Scarlet Fire Town and the Long family can return to the Starcloud kingdom. Please believe me, I'll treat your family well. No problem." Longao certainly wouldn't doubt Ouyang Fei's words. Moreover, he also understood that it would be difficult for a family to develop if they left the kingdom. Both of them raised their cups at the same time and drank. "Brother Long, you killed Tang Lin, Yang Yi, and the others. Father is very angry. But the old ancestor is on the verge of a breakthrough and has no time to deal with you. So you have to plan early. Once the old ancestor comes out of seclusion, it will be the time to deal with you. Breakthrough imminent." Longao certainly knew what the old ancestor of the Starcloud royal family's breakthrough meant. If there were no accidents, the old ancestor of the Starcloud royal family was just a warrior at the peak of the consolidation realm. Once he broke through, he would officially break through to the transformation realm. If so, this matter would become quite tricky. Chapter 137. The Tianwu continent was divided into 9 provinces. There were 6 sects in the Tianju, namely the Ghost King sect, the Blood Sea sect, the Wind Thunder sect, the Golden Sun sect, the Flame sect, and the Thunder sect. The most powerful sects, the Thunder sect and the Flame sect, occupied half of the secular world of the Tianju. The Golden Sun sect was under the 2 sects. It was even rumored that after years of development, the strength and foundation of the Golden Sun sect had vaguely surpassed that of the Flame sect and the Thunder sect. In the pavilion at the back of the mountain of the Golden Sun sect. "Father, no matter what, I must get Aoshue." Zhong Zhihang, the young master of the Golden Sun sect, was also the first genius of the Golden Sun sect. He had broken through the earthly royal realm at a young age and was ranked 3rd on the Fengyun list. As for Zhong Zhihang's father, Zhong Mo, he was the master of the Golden Sun sect. His strength was unfathomable, and he was insidious and cunning. However, he always had a smile on his face. Zhihang, the Ghost King sect has spread the news about Aoshue and Longao. It's clear that they don't want this marriage. Before Zhong Mo finished speaking, Zhong Zhihang said angrily, "Humph, this marriage was set by the Ghost King and my father. It's not something that the Ghost King can go back on. Zhihang, the Ghost King sect will be destroyed sooner or later. Even if you marry Aoshue, you will become an enemy. Why bother? No, I swear to marry Aoshue even if I have to die." With a deep sigh in his heart, Zhong Mo said, "Zhihang, let me think about it. Father, I'll solve my own problem. I'll go to the Thunder Empire later. I'd like to see who this Longao is." Zhong Zhihang was born with confidence. After all, he was ranked 3rd on the Fengyun list at such a young age, which proved his strength. The Fengyun list was a list above the 100 battle ranking. Only people in the secular world could chase the 100 battle ranking. The disciples of the 6 sects could not chase the 100 battle ranking at all. However, the Fengyun list was different. Anyone in the Tianju who was under 30 could chase the Fengyun list. The 100 battle ranking could not be compared with the 100 battle ranking in terms of age. Starcloud City. Longao and Ouyang Fei drank for an entire night before they parted ways. Ouyang Fei was not only a friend to Longao, but he was also selfish towards Longao. Although he was the crown prince of the kingdom, it was still unknown whether the throne would be his. It was precisely because of this that Ouyang Fei had to make plans for himself. At night, stars dotted the sky. In the pitch-black night, only the croaking of frogs could be heard. However, Star Cloud City was bustling with activity. A big city was a big city after all. Longao, who was just about to cultivate, suddenly had a change in expression. He was surprised, but he didn't hesitate at all. He flew out and quickly followed the shadow. One after the other, the black-clothed man and Longao instantly disappeared into the pitch-black night. In the blink of an eye, they had already left Star Cloud City. On a secluded mountain. Who are you? Longao was on full alert because he discovered that the aura emitted by the black-clothed man in front of him was too strong. It seemed to be similar to the two elders of the Blood Sea sect back then. Earthly sovereign? Although he was unwilling to admit it, Longao was very clear in his heart that the black-clothed man in front of him was 100% an earthly sovereign. Earthly sovereign. Longao became more and more vigilant in his heart. Could it be that this person was an expert of the Blood Sea sect and wanted to deal with him? You are Longao. Yes. Just a piece of trash. Trash. Hearing the other party call him trash, Longao's expression instantly turned cold. However, he didn't act rashly. After all, the other party's strength was there. I thought you were some big shot. It turns out that you are just a small unification realm expert. Longao, tell me, if you are not trash, then what are you? And what are you? Regarding the black-clothed man's ridicule for no reason, his uncle and aunt could not tolerate it. The secret cave could tolerate it, but the chrysanthemum could not tolerate it. Longao said coldly and fiercely. So what if he was an earthly sovereign? At most, they would fight. Feeling the strong aura and fighting spirit from the other party, Zhong Zhihang seemed to be a little surprised. However, his face was still full of surprise. He nodded and said, My name is Zhong Zhihang, from the Golden Sun sect. Zhong Zhihang? Longao didn't know much about Zhong Zhihang. After all, in the secular world, people paid attention to the 100 battle ranking, not the Fengyun list. However, Longao was familiar with the Golden Sun sect. As one of the 6 sects in the Tianwu continent, one could imagine the strength and background of the Golden Sun sect. It was precisely because of this that Longao was very curious. He didn't know why Zhong Zhihang from the Golden Sun sect was looking for him. It seemed that he had no connection with the Golden Sun sect. As if he could see Longao's doubts, Zhong Zhihang sneered and said, Longao, I don't care if you want to be a toad that wants to eat swan meat or not. Let me give you a piece of advice. It's best to stay away from Aoshue. Otherwise, I will make you beg for death. Aoshue? Longao finally knew why the man in front of him was looking for him. It turned out that it was for Aoshue. What does the matter between me and Aoshue have to do with you? Ha ha ha, Longao, you must not know that I am Aoshue's fiancé. Now you know the relationship between us and Aoshue. Zhong Zhihang, our engagement was caused by your father's tricks. I never agreed. At this time, Ghost King Ao Tian and Aoshue suddenly appeared. Aoshue's face was full of anger. Coming to Longao's side, Aoshue smiled apologetically and said, Longao, I never acknowledged our engagement. Holding Aoshue's hand, Longao also smiled and said, I know, you are my woman. No matter who it is, no one can take you away from me. Let go of Aoshue. The aura that Zhong Zhihang released was directly suppressed by the Ghost King. His face was extremely gloomy. Zhong Zhihang asked, Uncle, what is the meaning of this? Zhihang, I will give you an explanation for the matter between you and Aoshue later. However, Longao is my Ghost King sect's guest. I hope that you will not cause trouble for him. Zhong Zhihang was very surprised. He did not know how a small secular disciple who had not even reached the transformation realm could gain the Ghost King's favor. Although he was an earthly sovereign and ranked 3rd on the Wind Cloud ranking, compared to the Ghost King, the two of them were not on the same level. Uncle, no matter what happened back then, you personally agreed to my engagement with Aoshue. In 3 months, Aoshue and I will be married. I hope that uncle will not forget. Married in 3 months. Hearing this, Longao was shocked. Before Longao could say anything, Zhong Zhihang had already said, "Longao, let me tell you, trash will always be trash. A toad wanting to eat swan meat can only be a dream. Today, for uncle's sake, I will spare your life. If you dare to bother Aoshua again, I will kill you." Chapter 138. With Ghost King and Aoshua around, Zhong Zhihang left in the end. Zhong Zhihang wasn't a fool. He knew that as long as Ghost King and Aoshua were here, it was almost impossible for him to kill Longao. Ghost King's strength was unfathomable. "Aoshua, I'll give you 6 hours. Come find me later." "Thank you, father." Looking at the Ghost King who was gradually disappearing into the distance, Longao suddenly asked, "Aoshua, 3 months later, are you really going to marry this person?" Nodding, then shaking her head, Aoshua said, "When my father wasn't the master of Ghost King sect, he encountered a powerful enemy and was heavily injured. He was saved by the Golden Sun sect's master. It was at that time that my father and the Golden Sun sect had an engagement, so I didn't agree to it. My father isn't willing now. So that's why." Longao wasn't an unreasonable person. In the end, this had nothing to do with Aoshua. "Longao, we're not suitable for each other. Forget about me." Hearing this, Longao's body suddenly trembled. "I believe you've also sensed that Zhong Zhihang's cultivation has reached the Emperor realm, and is ranked 3rd on the wind cloud list. With your strength, you're no match for him, so you should let go. Aoshua, I just said that you're my woman. No matter who it is, no one can take you away from me." Aoshua held back the tears in her heart. Her face suddenly turned cold. "Longao, who do you think you are? Don't think that you can have me just because you have my body. I'll tell you now, I've never liked you." Without giving Longao any chance to speak, Aoshua continued, "The gap between our identities is too big, so please let go." "Aoshua. Longao, this is the last time we will see each other. In 3 months, I will marry Zhong Zhihang. Goodbye." Without giving Longao a chance to speak, Aoshua quickly turned around and left. Longao didn't notice that the moment Aoshua turned around, she couldn't help but burst into tears. Longao didn't stop Aoshua as he watched her leave. Instead, he clenched his fists and muttered to himself in a firm voice, "You'll always be my woman. I'll settle everything in 3 months. In a pavilion not too far away from Star Cloud City." Woo woo woo, woo woo woo. The Ghost King gently patted Aoshua's shoulder and sighed deeply. "Aoshua, if you are willing, father will support you." Shaking her head and holding back her tears, Aoshua said, "The Golden Sun sect's strength is already above our Ghost King sect. For so many years, the Golden Sun sect has been eyeing us covetously. If we go back on our word, I believe the Golden Sun sect will not let us go." "Aoshua. Father, I've decided. In 3 months, I will marry Zhong Zhihang, but I have a request. The location of the wedding must be in the Ghost King sect, not the Golden Sun sect." Ao Tian sighed deeply. How could he not know what his daughter meant? Aoshua did this for the sake of the sect. After all, the Golden Sun sect's strength and foundation were obvious. Not to mention the Ghost King sect, even the Thunder sect and the Flame sect couldn't resist the Golden Sun sect. Looking at the endless void in the distance, Aoshua's voice could only be heard by herself. "Longao, in 3 months, I will marry Zhong Zhihang for the sake of the sect, but I, Aoshua, will always be your woman, no matter when. So I will tell the world with my death that I am your woman, Longao." After returning to Star Cloud City, Longao didn't sleep for the whole night. His mind was full of Aoshua. 3 months. He only had 3 months. That was to say, in 3 months, no matter how high his cultivation had reached, he had to go to the Golden Sun sect and stop the marriage between Aoshua and Zhong Zhihang. Again, Aoshua was his woman. The reason why Longao didn't ask Aoshua to stay and didn't say anything more was that in Longao's opinion, action was better than anything else. His soul immediately communicated with the dragon seal. In the blink of an eye, his soul had already entered the space of the dragon seal. Seeing Long Fu, Longao got straight to the point and asked, "Long Fu, You already know that I cultivate the 9 Needles divine seal. Now, I want to ask if there is a way for me to increase my strength in an instant. Longao knew very well in his heart that after 3 months, even if his cultivation base broke through to the lightning retribution realm and used the 9 Needles divine seal, he believed that the strength that had increased in an instant would not be able to compete with Zhong Zhihang. The 5 transformation realms were divided into the lightning tribulation realm, the transformation realm, the human king realm, the earthly sovereign realm, and the Tao ancestor realm. The earthly sovereign realm. It was easy to imagine how strong Zhong Zhihang was. Longao knew even more clearly that unless his cultivation broke through to the peak of the human king realm and he used the 9 Needles divine seal, he might not be able to defeat an earthly sovereign realm cultivator. Long Fu thought for a while and said, "Master, there is indeed a martial technique that can increase your strength in an instant, but I can't give it to you." "Why is that?" Longao was very confused. He seemed somewhat anxious. After all, this was his only chance. "Master, cultivation and one's own strength is the right path. The 9 Needles divine seal that you cultivate, as well as the martial skills that the dragon seal space possesses, are all unorthodox. No matter when, I hope that Master will not use such martial skills." Long Fu continued, "Master, the last time you used the 9 Needles divine seal, you didn't suffer a backlash. That was a great fortune amidst the misfortune. Thus, Master should not continue using the 9 Needles divine seal in the future." Longao did not continue asking. He knew that Long Fu did not have any emotions. Once he was unwilling to hand over the martial technique, then no matter what, he believed that Long Fu would not teach it to him. Could it be that he really did not need to use the 9 Needles divine seal? Longao knew that no matter what happened in 3 months, he had to stop Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang from getting married. Thus, the 9 Needles divine seal was his only chance. "Master, I know what you're thinking. If you want to use the 9 Needles divine seal, you have to minimize the backlash." Hearing Long Fu's words, Longao was immediately overjoyed. He was not an idiot. Of course, he knew the meaning of Long Fu's words. He immediately asked impatiently, "Long Fu, is there any way to minimize the backlash?" Of course, Longao knew how terrifying the backlash from the 9 Needles God sealing technique was. The reason why he did not suffer the backlash from the 9 Needles God sealing technique last time was because of various reasons. However, Longao was even more clear that good luck did not come every time. Once he was unlucky and suffered the backlash, the consequences could be imagined. It was precisely because of this that as long as he could reduce the backlash of the 9 Needles to the minimum, Longao knew that his chances would become greater. "Master, I can only reduce the backlash of the 9 Needles to the minimum, but it is still very dangerous." Chapter 139. Long Fu, speak. Long Fu's face was expressionless, like a zombie. Nodding, Long Fu said, "Master, the only way now is for you to obtain a drop of Qilin blood and a drop of dragon blood. I will use the blood pool to fuse with the souls and refine them. This way, when Master uses the 9 Needles divine seal, not only can your strength increase, but also reduce the backlash." Qilin blood. Dragon blood. If it was before, Longao would have thought that this was a fool's dream. After all, Qilins and dragons were the most powerful existences in the world. It was easier said than done to obtain their blood. But now, Longao was not worried at all. Long Qiong was a mutated dragon. He believed that obtaining a drop of Long Qiong's blood would not be difficult. As for Qilin, Longao knew that as long as he went to find Fire Qilin, the chances of obtaining its blood would be very high. After all, Fire Qilin was now overseeing the family. "Master, your cultivation has reached the consolidation realm and you already have the help of a transformed corpse slave. I want to refine all the souls you obtain in the future." Nodding, Longao expressed his agreement. How could Longao not know Long Fu's intention? After all, for a warrior, one's own strength was the most important. Whether it was soul slaves or corpse slaves, they were all auxiliary. Because of this, Longao had also decided to refine all the souls he obtained in the future into energy for his own cultivation. Not only him, but even Long Qiong also had the desolate saint body. The energy required for 2 desolate saint bodies was an astronomical figure. After leaving the dragon seal space, the next day had already begun to brighten. Longao's killing of Longao caused the entire Star Cloud City to boil. How could the Long family be willing to let the matter rest when their patriarch was killed? They immediately sent a large group of people to chase after Longao. But would Longao be afraid? Without a doubt, with Longao's personality and strength, he didn't fear the Long family at all. However, he didn't go overboard and only suppressed them, not slaughtering them. This time, Longao did not enter the Nebula City to deal with the rank 5 Long family. Instead, it was for the Nebula Royal family. He knew very well that the Nebula Royal family would not let the matter rest after he killed Tang Lin and Yang Yi. Instead of getting into trouble, he might as well take the initiative. However, for Ouyang Fei, Longao was not willing to fight to the death with the Nebula Royal family unless it was absolutely necessary. It was precisely because of this that Longao held the idea that if the enemy did not move, he would not move. If the enemy moved, then he would move. In this way, he could be considered to have not let his friends down. Nebula Imperial Family. At the back of the mountain, in front of a small mountain, a yin-yang 8 trigram stone door suddenly opened, and an old man walked out. He had sharp eyebrows, bright eyes, and white hair, but his spirit was excellent. Seeing the old man, everyone including Ouyang Feng and Ouyang Fei fell to their knees, shouting in unison, "Greetings, old ancestor." The old ancestor of the Nebula Royal family. Ouyang Chong, the old ancestor of the Nebula Royal family. He started his seclusion 10 years ago. After 7 years of cultivation, he finally attracted his own lightning tribulation and successfully passed it, reaching the lightning tribulation realm. After successfully breaking through the lightning tribulation realm, Ouyang Chong did not come out of seclusion. Instead, he continued to cultivate until today. 3 years later, Ouyang Chong came out of seclusion and broke through from the lightning tribulation realm to the metamorphosis realm. The metamorphosis realm was divided into the lightning tribulation realm, metamorphosis realm, personage realm, earthly sovereign realm, and Tao ancestor realm. The metamorphosis realm was divided into 3 levels, namely first metamorphosis, second metamorphosis, and third metamorphosis. The more metamorphosis realm one had, the stronger one would be. Ouyang Chong had just undergone a metamorphosis realm. Ouyang Feng seemed to be a little impatient. He immediately told the story of Longao in detail. Ouyang Chong was originally feeling great after breaking through to the metamorphosis realm. However, when he heard this, his face instantly turned gloomy. He snorted and said angrily, "What's the use of having an emperor like you? You actually let a brat act so presumptuously." When he heard this, Ouyang Feng was startled. He did not dare to say anything more and stood to the side submissively. "Leave this matter to me. Remember, you have to spread the news of me coming out of seclusion." Ouyang Chong's meaning was very simple. After all, to a kingdom, what did it mean to be a metamorphosis realm cultivator? He believed that everyone knew very well. Among the vassal kingdoms of the Thunder Empire, the Star Cloud Kingdom was probably ranked first. This was the strength of a metamorphosis realm cultivator. It directly led to the rise of a kingdom. The news of Ouyang Chong coming out of seclusion and breaking through to the metamorphosis realm spread throughout the entire Star Cloud Kingdom in the blink of an eye. Those who received the news, especially the various kingdoms, were all shocked. This was because Ouyang Chong coming out of seclusion directly affected the status of the Star Cloud Kingdom. The countless kingdoms in the surroundings all had a kind of mentality: envy, jealousy, and hatred. When the Thunder Empire received the news, they maintained their silence. However, everyone knew that the Thunder Empire would definitely not allow a metamorphosis realm cultivator to appear in a kingdom. As one of the strongest empires, the Thunder Empire definitely wanted to maintain their position as the overlord. Therefore, everyone knew that the Thunder Empire would definitely deal with Ouyang Chong. Longao, who was in Star Cloud City, also received the news. He was very shocked in his heart. Metamorphosis realm. Longao never thought that Ouyang Chong's cultivation had actually reached the metamorphosis realm. He always thought that the old ancestor of the Star Cloud royal family must have reached the lightning tribulation realm when he came out of seclusion this time. Metamorphosis Realm 5. Longao was very clear that although the lightning tribulation realm and the metamorphosis realm were only one level apart, the difference in strength between the two was like heaven and earth. If he were to face Ouyang Chong, who was in the metamorphosis realm, there seemed to be no other choice but to run. Even so, Longao still did not leave. This was because he knew that this matter had to be resolved. Otherwise, if the Star Cloud Kingdom went crazy, not only him, but even the family behind him would be implicated. It was because of this that Longao did not leave Star Cloud City. Instead, he waited for the Star Cloud royal family. However, 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. There was still no news from the Star Cloud royal family. Longao could not even contact Ouyang Fei. Not only did Longao not relax, but he also became more vigilant. This was because before the rainbow, there would always be a storm. Star Cloud City. The dark night was dotted with stars. A bright crescent moon hung high in the sky, illuminating the entire Star Cloud City. On the roof of the inn, Longao stood quietly. Because he was cultivating just now, an aura shrouded him directly. Although the aura did not make a move, Longao was very clear that the old ancestor of the Star Cloud royal family had finally arrived. Without the slightest fear, Longao knew that what would come would come. Therefore, he did not leave. Instead, he came to the roof of the inn and looked at the old man who suddenly appeared in front of him. Chapter 140. You're Longao? Ouyang Zhong's voice was extremely cold, like 1,000-year-old ice. As a transformation warrior, Ouyang Zhong was full of confidence. His opponent was just a warrior at the consolidation realm. It was impossible for him to be his opponent. There was an essential difference between the innate realm and the transformation realm. It could be said that even a warrior at the consolidation realm could not defeat a warrior at the lightning retribution realm. Yes. Do you know who I am? The ancestor of the Nebula royal family, Ouyang Zhong. Ouyang Zhong seemed to be admiring him. He suddenly sneered and said, I've heard about you. I have to admit that you're really good. After 10 years of persistence, you rose up in a few months. Just this standing and talent alone is enough to disdain your peers. Longao did not speak. He answered with silence. Number 11 on the 100 battle ranking, Longao. You killed Tang Lin and Yang Yi. I should kill you. But I have a problem. I love talents very much. So I'm going to give you a chance. Longao still did not speak. He wanted to know what tricks Ouyang Zhong was going to play. Longao, as long as you're willing to join the National Guard Hall, the Nebula royal family will let bygones be bygones. And you'll be the Hall Master of the National Guard Hall. Ouyang Zhong's offer was indeed very tempting. Ordinary people would not be able to refuse and accept it. But would Longao agree? The answer was obvious. The death of the people of the National Guard Hall is their own fault. They can't blame others. And I won't join the National Guard Hall. I appreciate your kindness. He refused directly. If someone was standing here, he would definitely think that Longao's brain was damaged. How dare he refuse the ancestor of the Nebula royal family? Wasn't he courting death? Ouyang Zhong was not angry at all. Instead, he smiled and said, Longao, you have a backbone. I know it's not easy for you to achieve what you have today. So I'll ask you one last time. Do you want to join the National Guard Hall? I like to be free. Although Longao did not directly refuse, the meaning in his words was very clear. As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying aura suddenly erupted from Ouyang Zhong's body, and it directly suppressed the sky and the earth. Just the aura of a metamorphosis martial artist was not something a unification martial artist could withstand. The inn Longao stayed in was the most luxurious inn in Starcloud City. Moreover, Starcloud City was also a gathering place for experts. In just a short moment, the inn's surroundings were filled with people, all of them looking at the two people on the roof. Ouyang Zhong. Perhaps very few people knew him. After all, this old ancestor of the Nebula royal family had been in closed-door training for 10 whole years. However, many people recognized Longao. In the past few months, Longao's rise had made him a celebrity in Starcloud Kingdom. He had also become the idol in the hearts of countless losers. Whispering, everyone was guessing who the old man opposite Longao was. The people of the Nebula royal family, including Ouyang Feng and Ouyang Fei, were all present. Ouyang Fei clenched his fists tightly because in his heart, he didn't want Longao to die. However, in front of the old ancestor, could Longao really survive? Catcher. His bones were trembling under the pressure of the aura. However, Longao still didn't give up. The determination in his body made Longao stand tall and proud, firmly resisting the powerful aura released by Ouyang Zhong. He withstood it. Seeing that the other party actually withstood it, Ouyang Zhong was very surprised. The corner of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. The aura emitted from his body became stronger and stronger, wave after wave, like the waves of the sea. Metamorphosis martial artist. Metamorphosis martial artist not only went through the baptism of the lightning tribulation, but also went through a qualitative transformation. In other words, the power that Ouyang Zhong now had was already metamorphosed spiritual energy. Especially his aura, which had also gone through the baptism and transformation of the lightning tribulation, was not something that an innate stage aura could compare to. Strike first to gain the initiative. Longao was not a fool. Of course, he knew very well that with his own strength, it was almost impossible to resist the other party's aura. Since that was the case, he might as well strike first to gain the initiative. Perhaps he might have a chance. Longao made the first move. Seeing Longao suddenly make a move, not to mention Ouyang Zhong, even Ouyang Feng and Ouyang Fei were incomparably shocked. They thought that the other party's brain was damaged. Perhaps others didn't know how strong Ouyang Zhong was, but how could they not know? A metamorphosed fighter, the undisputed #1 expert of Starcloud Kingdom. If Longao made the first move to gain the upper hand, wouldn't he be courting death? Ouyang Zhong snorted coldly. Ouyang Zhong's face was filled with contempt and disdain. It was impossible to see Ouyang Zhong's figure clearly. He had already silently appeared behind Longao. Longao made the first move, but his speed was still not as fast as Ouyang Zhong. Metamorphosis realm was indeed a metamorphosis realm. Sensing the aura behind him, Longao was shocked. He didn't dare to be careless and immediately counterattacked. However, he was still a step too late. He was ruthlessly hit by Ouyang Zhong and his body flew backwards. Longao spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backward. Longao stopped abruptly. Before he could stand firm, Ouyang Zhong's body rushed over again, not giving Longao any chance to breathe. Soul-suppressing seal, underworld burning seal. Not only that, Longao also slashed out with the wild devouring saber in his hand. The first 3 moves of the wild devouring 8 styles, the first move was the Yellow Spring's 9 consecutive strikes, the second move was the heart-devouring ice seal, and the third move was the Sea of Raging Flames. They instantly overlapped and a terrifying saber light slashed out. The shocking saber light streaked across the pitch-black night like a meteor. Ouyang Zhong, who didn't put Longao in his eyes at all, didn't seem to have reacted. However, the metamorphosis realm was still the metamorphosis realm. He dodged in time and wasn't hit by the saber light. However, he was still scared to the point that he broke out in cold sweat. At this moment, Ouyang Zhong finally knew why the young man in front of him could rise in such a short period of time. Although he was only in the consolidation realm, his strength couldn't be underestimated. Even if he was a metamorphosis realm warrior, if he didn't react quickly, he might have suffered a great loss. Longao, I have to admit that you are indeed a talent. I will give you one last chance. As long as you are willing to join the National Guard Hall, not only can you become the Hall Master of the National Guard Hall, I can also take you as my disciple. In the future, half of the Nebula Kingdom will be yours. Hearing this, Ouyang Feng and Ouyang Fei were shocked. As for the others, they also knew the identity of the old man. He was the old ancestor of the Nebula royal family. His status was even higher than the emperor, Ouyang Feng. Because of this, everyone knew clearly what Ouyang Zhong's words meant. Half of the kingdom, the Hall Master of the National Guard Hall, the disciple of the Nebula royal family's old ancestor. The combination of these three conditions was too tempting to resist. The people around the inn asked themselves, if they could get such conditions, would they refuse? You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories,